And we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
Your cousin AJ up here again.
And I'm Bill Lustig.
Exactly. It's good to have you here.
Not in the opening credits.
That's a very good point. We should definitely update those.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm here for a second time, but
I believe it's the third time, actually. The second time on video. I shouldn't even bring that up now, especially now that you're not in the thing. But
all right.
Tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we don't have a lot to celebrate, really. But all that aside, Uncle Sam, I think this is the perfect time to have you back because, you know, we talk a lot about Maniac Cop, rightfully so, but I never hear you talk too much about Uncle Sam.
That's because I guess it's not as close to my heart as the Maniac Cop films or Maniac or Vigilante. Those were closer to me. This was sort of a movie that I wish I would love to go back and fix.
What about it specifically would you like to fix?
The music is awful. And it's missing a lot of music in it. I also felt that the first half hour of the film is a wee bit slow. It does pick up after that, but I would have liked to tighten up the first half hour of the film. And there's one or two scenes I think we could have eliminated to again tighten up the pace. But anyway, you can't win them all.
So, how do you look at the movie? Because you said like it's not as close to you, but it is your last narrative feature that you directed. So like, what do you think? Just is there any? What do you think if you think about the movie, like the experience of making it? What comes to mind?
It was fun shooting. We shot in a town in about I think it's 2 hours outside of Los Angeles, called what the hell is the name? Laverne, I think it was. And it was fun. The weather was beautiful, and the people were nice. My favorite thing is when we blew up the house, and they kicked us out of Laverne. That was quite an experience. We had this big climactic ending, and of course, I want it to be the biggest it can be. So I tell the special effects guy, I really want this to be big. It's got to be a big finale. And the few hours later, the stunt coordinator who had looked at all the explosives that were around came to me, and I said to him, "Oh, Spiro, how is it all looking?" He gave me, oh. And I go, what? He goes, I go, well, where should I stand? And he pointed to a tree a block away. Stand behind that. And as it turned out, we wound up not getting to the explosion until like 1 a.m. And so we not only blew this house, but we blew out windows of houses all around us.
Holy shit.
Yeah, one of them happened to be over a crib where a baby had been sleeping.
Oh,
so the next day in the Laverne newspaper, you see a mother standing over this crib with glass in it. And, with the look on her face, and I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah.
And they pulled our permit. Yeah,
was
that the last thing you shot there? Or, well, did you have more?
I assume that wasn't the end of shooting.
No, it wasn't.
Why?
And we did have more to shoot in Laverne, and the producer, much to his credit, he's also an attorney, so he went in and spoke to the city and got us permission that we could continue shooting, but for 1 week, and we couldn't do any explosions. So that was fun. And also, I loved when we were doing that scene, the picnic scene, because it was just so relaxed. You know, we're out there, beautiful weather. You know, I'm used to shooting Maniac Cop, you know, in some of the worst areas of LA and New York, where you didn't want to park your car anywhere because they would definitely break into it. So here I'm shooting in this idyllic town, and everybody is so nice. They were so nice to us, and so it was fun. It was fun.
So you blew up the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That explosion was huge.
Yeah, you got to understand. There's nothing more frightening than facing a guy, a father, in his bathrobe, out there screaming at you. Oh, who's in charge? Who's in charge? And our location manager was like this 100-pound girl, and I said, she is. Because for sure this guy would have killed me.
So when you first when you first get the script from Larry Cohen, what did you think of it, and how close is what you shot to the original script?
It was I would say it's pretty close to the original script. I don't yeah, it was pretty close to the original script. What happened was Larry had given me the script sometime in the early 90s. And I didn't really resonate with me, you know. I'm from New York, you know. 4th of July is not really, you know, a big celebration. It's more of a barbecue holiday, you know. And then you go up on the roof of your apartment building and you watch fireworks. And I grew bored of that. I outgrew the fireworks. And so it really was no big deal to me until I went to do a movie in Nashville, and it happened to be during July 4th, and I saw how seriously people took 4th of July, and I said, you know, there's something here, and then I started getting an idea that maybe I make it like a Twin Peaks, in 4th of July in Twin Peaks. I don't know if it came across or not, but that was my idea. That it would be that kind of a look, and I revisited the script, and it all came together fairly quickly.
What was your relationship like with Larry? Like, were you guys close friends, or?
We were never close friends. You know, the thing about Larry is, you know. He definitely had an opinion about stuff, and everything he did was great, and everything you do sucks, and that's kind of Larry Cohen. And
Cool.
yeah, so I you know, when you're working with somebody like that, it can be difficult. You know, occasionally he'd give a compliment, but boy, they were few and far between. And when we did the first Maniac Cop, he had this provision that he could take his name off the movie. And then he went to the editing room and he watched the film. Even it was not even completed yet, and he loved the movie. Thought it was the greatest. But why did I have a palm tree in the background in the last shot of the movie? You know, towards the end of the movie, you could see in the distance a palm tree that made it obvious that we shot the ending in California. Nobody else notices it. I never noticed it. But that's all he fixated on. But that's Larry. You know, he was nuts. He was nuts.
What did you have a lot of like scripts together that just never got made, like a lot of ideas for other movies with
Funny
Larry
enough, everything we worked on got made.
Oh, okay, that's unusual.
Yeah, I know. I think we made in total like 5 movies.
What would be not your favorite? Well, maybe your favorite, but what's the one with Larry that would be like the most personal to you?
Well, I think Maniac Cop 2. Larry really wrote a good script for Maniac Cop 2. And I was just telling somebody the other day, I picked it up at his house, and I'm driving home. I'm on a California freeway, and I start reading the script. And as I'm reading the script, I'm saying, boy, this is pretty good. And I'm in traffic, and I'm reading the script, and I'm really engaged in the script. And I get home, I finish the script, I call him up, I said, Larry, this is great. I had so many great ideas for it. And, but he gave me such a good structure. And, yeah, so, he gave me the bones, I kind of filled it out. I put the action scenes in and, some of that stuff.
Yeah. Mike Kling wants to know, he would like to see a sequel to Uncle Sam. Was there thoughts when you're making it, like this will be the start of like more of them, or you would ever do a sequel?
That's always the thought. The company that put it out on video wanted to do an Uncle Sam too. And I just, at that point, I just didn't want to, but it's not a bad idea. The thing about Uncle Sam, though, it never really got any traction overseas. And the way independent films get financed is primarily the financing comes from foreign distributors. And the U.S. is mainly the profit. And in the case of Uncle Sam, it never really gained any traction in foreign territories that would make it a sequel feasible, at least on the level that we made this one.
Is that because you on Pedro?
I mean, it's pretty like anti-government, like a lot of anti-government themes and stuff. I feel like it's a better time than ever now, for a sequel. Were those in the script, or was that more from the direction? Like, did you push it that way?
That was from the script. I mean, Larry is a social, he's a social commentator. All his movies, from It's Alive, even Maniac Cop, he always injects it with social issues. And so, yeah, I would say that was mainly in the script. We don't hit it hard, but it's there, And I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I'll mention it to the producer, George Bronstein, but I just don't think it could be made on we made Uncle Sam, it was like $2 million budget. And I think to do an Uncle Sam today, it would have to be well under $1 million. So it doesn't really make it, that interesting.
Do you think at the time it didn't do well internationally because it was like an American, like, it's Uncle Sam, it's an American movie. It's about an American figure.
I think that could be a part of it, but fundamentally, I thought the problem was the financier on the film was given advice by his attorney that, you should try to get half your money from foreign. So what he did is he kind of forced George Bronstein into making a deal with a foreign sales company who advanced half the budget of the movie for being able to handle the foreign rights to the film. And it really wasn't the way to go. It was a terrible, terrible idea to do that, because they never gave it to promotion. Like when we took Maniac Cop out, we really promoted it, and consequently, the first Maniac Cop did well, and the second one even did better. So it was not set up for success, the way the deal was structured. Hello?
That's rough.
I think Nasty Neil is frozen.
Oh, did he get frozen? He'll probably be back in a second.
Okay.
It's just us now. Oh, yeah. Well, I happened to really like those themes of the movie, and I didn't think that they were heavy-handed or anything, but
Yeah.
I just noticed, even like I feel like I connected with Jody, you know, like I'm like, okay, and he's kind of sort of getting radicalized as the film goes on. So it, you know, it was kind of cool. And then in that final scene, I mean, whatever the way the movie goes, and you talked about possibly doing a sequel. I thought in the ending, you know, I was curious if you guys had you know, talked about what that would look like.
No, we never really explored it. Actually, the ending that I had originally wanted for the film was for Jody to go to the grave of his uncle. And while he's in the cemetery, we hear the squeaky gate open, but we don't see, because Jody is being short, he can't see really over the graves. And so he doesn't really see, he just sees the top of the gate open, and we hear the sliding sound, you know, a dragging sound, and we get little glimpses through the tombstones, you know, through the grave markers. We get little glimpses of the tattered Uncle Sam uniform and all this, until finally he arrives at his grave, and it's like an EC comic where his guts, he's dragging his torso with the guts hanging out the back of it, and he plops himself into the grave, and that's how it was going to end, you know, with him and Jody there.
Sorry, my brother's power went out, and then my power went out. He's not too far from.
Where do you live?
We're both in Massachusetts. I'm on Cape Cod. He's in off Cape Cod, but not too far.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but we're back anyway. You know, you just brought up EC Comics. We've had several guests lately bring up EC Comics, and I think it's a lot of people of a certain age. Well, my brother included, is a big EC Comics fan because I used to read his comics, and like how influential were EC Comics to you? Was that something like you read growing up, and like this is something, you know, I'd like to make?
Absolutely. EC Comics were great. And I used a lot of that in the Maniac Cop films and Uncle Sam. I try to steal as much as I can out of those comics.
It was Brian Usna, I think, who brought it up recently.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, good guy. Made some really great films.
Yeah. So I was going to say, why didn't you ever make a zombie movie? But you really have, I guess. You just didn't call them zombies, but you know, they're basically good movies.
Yeah. They're zombie-ish movies. And you know, the problem like with Maniac Cop, I couldn't figure out what Maniac Cop was, even while I was shooting Maniac Cop. I didn't know if he should be, you know, a restless ghost. Is he a zombie? Is he just a guy?
Is he just a maniac?
Yeah, I really did not have a handle on it.
Mike Kling would like to see a Maniac Cop versus Uncle Sam. Maybe they could team up. I don't
know. Let me see. I don't think so. I think they're two different environments. What I thought was interesting is this comic company did a Maniac, you know, the original Joe Spinell Maniac versus the New York Ripper, which I thought was
the company that was owned by Rotten Cotton who put out the T-shirt.
Right. And I thought that was really interesting. And I thought it was a great idea.
Are they still available? Because I know the Rotten Cotton isn't around anymore, so I don't know if that comic
they for a brief time were at Vinegar Syndrome, had bought the label, and I last heard that they kind of phased it out.
Well, it's too bad
because the cost, it was a very costly to do those elaborate box sets and everything. They were very costly. And I didn't even get the last one they did on Maniac, the Maniac 2 box set. I'm searching eBay for it.
Yeah, so it's too bad that the guy who made the movie would have to go buy a copy of the comic book
Insane.
on eBay.
Yeah.
Somebody gift him one. Like, what the hell?
It's the second one. I got the first one. In fact, they sent me 10 of them.
Oh,
But
well,
I
that's
guess they ran out of love when it came to doing the second box. And I got nothing. And I even asked, the guy was like embarrassed. I said, Ralph, what are you doing? I want to get a copy of my own movie. He goes, oh, we don't have any. We don't have. Oh, come on, you don't have any stashed away? He goes, no, we have none.
This is not a horror, but it does remind me of something years ago. I sold XFL jerseys on eBay because I got them real cheap after XFL folded. And this one guy was buying all these XFL Maniacs jerseys, which I guess is similar to, but Memphis Maniacs was a team. And it ended up being the quarterback because they didn't give him any of his own merchandise. And so he had to go on eBay and buy the jerseys from me, which I thought was very sad in a way, but it's funny.
By the way, it's I can't tell you how many times I've had to buy my own DVDs of my movies and things like that. It's, I just consider it the cost.
Look, I mean, you got to look at it this way also, is that your movies are purchasable. And so it's like kind of, to me, it's kind of a silver lining experience when you're like, I'm going to take this. I'm going to buy, and they don't even know. They don't even know. You're like, the
Maniac 2 comic box set is completely sold out. I can't even get it. The company that made them doesn't have any. So that's not
Santa.
Was there ever, do you know if there's ever like an idea to like, do animate the comics or do anything, after the comic book like series?
I didn't get really involved with the comic books. I kind of enjoyed looking at the artwork and breezing through them, but I didn't get, I was not involved with them. That was this guy, Stephen, I think is Romano, was the creative person involved with them.
Uncle Sam has a really good cast. There's like a lot of cool character actors, and so someone like Bo Hopkins, like I think he's really good in the movie.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he did how does he look at a movie like that? Is he like, I'm totally in, I'm gonna have fun with this?
Yeah. Oh no, he's a pro. He comes to play. I always like the scene where he's on the telephone in his hotel room, and I deliberately had this gigantic reflection of a fan, and I was doing all these David Lynch type stuff with him, and but yeah, Bo Hopkins was great. What a nice man.
He's great, and it's weird because I saw a movie when it first came out, obviously, and I've seen it over the years, but I watch it, again for the interview, and as soon as I hear Isaac Hayes, it's hard not to think of Chef from South Park, but I was like, he is so good in the movie.
Well, I got to sing Shaft with him.
Really?
We were on the set, but I was singing his part. I was, and he was singing the chorus.
South Park was still
won't cop out when there's danger all about, and he would do Shaft. Can you dig it?
Damn right.
What a nice guy. I later got together with him because it was funny. His apartment in New York was just behind my apartment in New York. And I didn't know that. And we got together. He was doing a radio show at the time in New York. And we got together again. And he's just, what a nice man. Just a nice guy. And
how did that come about? Because that was like, I mean, that South Park was still pretty new at that point, right? Like only a couple of years on there.
No, he was on it. I'll tell you a little thing, okay? I don't know if I've talked about this or not. My original casting idea for that role was going to be Billy Jack, Tom McLaughlin. I think it's a Tom. I think I forgot. I think it's Tom Laughlin. Anyway, he was my original casting choice for that. I thought it would be really, really interesting to bring him back, even though he didn't look anything like Billy Jack. The guy was like 300 pounds, and yeah. And but I just thought it could be really interesting to put him in a movie like that.
Yeah.
And when that fell through, I then, I don't know, Isaac Hayes popped into my head. Of course, I'm a big Truck Turner fan. I have a signed Truck Turner, VHS by Isaac. Yeah, so then it became Isaac Hayes. And I was looking for something offbeat. I wanted something offbeat.
He really worked. And Robert Forster, obviously, it's just a really good cast. Everyone's really good, and everyone seems to be having a good time in it.
Oh yeah, Bob's a pal. Again, we had fun. It was fun. We're out there. It was beautiful weather. It was comfortable. It was nice. And Bob, I love working with him because it's not work. Well, we hang out when we're not getting paid. We would have breakfast once a week and dinners a couple of times a month. And I miss him. I miss him so much. It's hard. I miss Isaac. These people, they passed on, and it's just, and Bo. I used to see him in Studio City at the Daily Grill. He used to love to eat there every day. He'd be at the counter having dinner. And just by himself. Just a nice man. I talked to him about Sam Peckinpah. Oh man. To be with a guy who was in the greatest scene ever made in The Wild Bunch, saying the best line, when he remember him blowing away those people? Oh, it was fantastic.
So, along those, what were the movies like? Because you obviously get really excited when you talk about that movie. That this is what I would like to do someday. Like when you were watching it, as a kid.
There was a whole slew of movies. Of course, I loved The Wild Bunch, but I never envisioned myself making The Wild Bunch because I'm not a Western guy.
Yeah.
Horses and me, I don't know. I can't even stand the smell of them. So, doing a Wild Bunch was not for me. I was mostly urban action. I loved The French Connection. I love Bullet. I envisioned making films like that, especially the Italian police films. I loved all of those. Enzo Castellari, Umberto Lenzi. All those films were like, I loved making them. I would like, I loved it, and I always envisioned myself making it.
How did you, then become, primarily known as the horror movie guy?
Well, I think Maniac Out of the Box kind of sealed my fate. That was sort of my ode to Italian masters like Mario Bava and Dario Argento. Of course, I had a micro budget, but but those were the people I thought of when I was making the picture.
I mean, I love it. It's honestly one of my favorite horror movies. I think in the end, so it's like both weird and it's gory. And did you ever end up seeing the remake? I think last time I had you on, you had never seen the remake.
I saw the remake. I must have seen it. I don't remember when I was on, to be honest with you, but I did see it early on. I was invited to the Cannes Film Festival for its premiere.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. And what I thought of is this: it was a very well made film, but I didn't understand the creative decision of doing it from the killer's point of view. And, especially when you have a world-class actor like Elijah Wood, I want to see Elijah Wood. And I felt is that when they trapped themselves into making it a POV film, that it was a creative trap I think they got themselves into. That's just my opinion. I've never heard them ever criticize that decision, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, I went to see Maniac in the drive-in when I was very little. I was way too young to see it, but my mom would bring me to the drive-in to see all the horror movies, and it was something that always really stuck with me.
Well, Yeah, I mean, that's where the movie belongs. In a
Yeah.
drive-in or in a grindhouse where you know, on 42nd Street, where the people out on the street, you know, amplify the danger that you just saw. You know, uh, those are the
So,
places that really make a film like Maniac, you know, shine.
so along those lines, so like you have fun making Uncle Sam, but how different of an experience is it then when, you know, if you're making a movie that goes to video as opposed to now you're going to go watch it, you know, in theaters with people?
Well, Uncle Sam was not intended to be a straight-to-video movie. It just turned out that way.
Okay.
And um, it was partially because at that time, there was, uh, you know, the video companies didn't really see the necessity of spending the money to market films theatrically. They didn't really see the point to marketing it theatrically, and so it went straight to video.
Is that what's that like? Is that obviously? I guess it's the disappointing.
Of course it is. It's terrible. It's, you know, because you watch your film. Look, I shot it widescreen. It was, you know,
Super
2:3:5:1 widescreen. You know, so you want it to be up on a big screen, but you know, it doesn't always happen. It did play theatrically though in some foreign countries. I think it played theatrically, I want to say in Spain and in Scandinavia.
So have you ever seen Uncle Sam with an audience?
Only at festivals, at film festivals. I think I saw it with an audience in Seattle and a couple of other places.
The thing had to crush at festivals.
Pardon?
That had to crush at festivals, right? Like the
no,
flag waving scene.
Oh yeah. No,
People.
yeah, the festivals, you know, the festivals liked it. You know, it's funny how you perceive your film and other people do is sometimes, you know, very different. You know, I'm looking at it and I'm examining the flaws. And you know, I'm beating myself up. You know, again, I often tell people I look at my movies as 90 minutes of flaws. Things I should have done different, things I should have done better. And you know, I really beat myself up a lot.
Do you think
Well,
that helps you going into the next project, or do you think that kind of like hinders you creatively?
I think at some point it did hinder me creatively because I would start to feel, I think Uncle Sam did that to me. It really kind of brought me down. And there was a few things that happened before Uncle Sam. But it was a period where I just felt kind of lost. And I found a home in home entertainment, putting movies out on DVD and such.
Yeah, Blue Underground for people who don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, labels like that really keep like all these like cool titles that might just, you know, be forgotten in time. Like they get released and they get all these cool specials, you know, like Vinegar Syndrome puts stuff like that out. And like just how like when you find like something weird that you really like and you know like you can put it together and new people can see it, just like what kind of experience is that for you?
You talking about it as a
for when you're putting out something through Blue Underground that's not a movie you made, but you know, like you could, this is a movie that I like and not a lot of people have seen it maybe, and now a new audience can see it.
Well, I love that. That was when I started Blue Underground. I really was energized by that, and I still, to some degree, I still am. But with all these small labels that have popped up over the years, it just doesn't make it fun anymore. You know, the field is so crowded by so many ma and pa genre labels. When I started Blue Underground, I was the only one, and the marketplace has sort of become crowded, and People who own films have a higher perceived value of them. And you start to feel like, what am I doing this for,
And eventually, I mean, there's millions of movies out there, but I guess after a while you do run out of things that like really stand out to you. Like,
exactly.
oh, this one really wants.
It's not a renewable resource. There's a finite amount of films that are quality catalog genre films, and it's just not an infinite amount.
No. Last time I met you, well, it was the only time I met you in person was at Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, which was a really good time. And you took us out for great Italian food, by the way, which was very nice of you.
You have to. You're in New York. You got to go to the East Village and go to a really good Italian restaurant.
I'm 100%.
Where are you located, cousin AJ?
Currently I'm in the South right now, so I'm in I bounce around a lot, but I'm in Oklahoma City right now. Just got here from LA, probably going to be heading to Portland soon, so I'm all over.
I'm going to Portland in 3 weeks. I'll be there.
Oh, where are you going?
Hollywood Theater. They're showing Maniac and Vigilante.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome.
I'm doing Q&A.
Awesome.
It's Saturday, I want to say the 18th, but it could be the 19th. I'm not sure. Whatever that Saturday is in middle of July, that's when I'll be there. And I love that theater. I was there maybe 20 years ago, and boy, that's such a beautiful theater.
Yeah, great city for art too. So it's that should be a great show, fun show.
Do you ever go to Powell's?
Are you going to be there? Will you be there at the same time, AJ?
I don't think so. I'm getting back there in August. I was just out there crabbing about 2-3 weeks ago. So if you want to get crabs or clams, I'll show you. I'll show you the good spot where to pull those up out of the ground.
Well, let me ask you this: which restaurant should I go to? I'm not about to go clamming, and I do have 2 nights to have dinner. So you got to give me some recommendations.
I have a great family-owned diner for you that's been there about I think 30 years. It's called Fat City Cafe.
Okay, I can remember that.
Yeah,
Fat City Cafe. You head in there, you will be taken care of. And you talk about mom and pop. That is owned by a husband and wife, and they still work the shop. So
wonderful. But 30 years isn't very long. As far as
I mean, that's how long they've had it. So I think it's been there for a while, but it's worth it. Trust me. Check out Fat City Cafe.
I'm gonna for sure go there. Is it kind of near where Hollywood Theater is, or is it?
Let me actually see really fast. I can find that so quick.
Yeah. So me and AJ were in New York not too long ago filming AJ's movie Our Man Funk. I'm in that. So. AJ's first time directing a feature film, so it was very exciting.
Nice. What film is it called? What's it called?
Our Man Funk.
Our Man Funk.
It's a family revenge comedy.
I love it.
Yeah. Age placed. Age placed. How do you even say that? Age PlayStation. That's hard for me to say, but so it's about an 80-year-old vigilante.
Okay.
And all right. I only hope for it to be as much fun as Uncle Sam, which, I do understand the thing that you were saying about the movie, about how the audience perceives it differently than you. And I call that like movie dysmorphia, which is tough. Like I tell everybody all the time, I hate everything that I touch, like anything that comes out of my camera or that I wrote, and people will like it, and I cannot stand it. But I do try to open my eyes to how other people are experiencing it and shut out some of my own evil voices telling me about the flaws. That's all I can ever see as well. But I try and tell everybody on set, I'm like, nobody knows what was supposed to be in this. They only know what they see. So don't freak out about that. Let's just work with what we got. And obviously we're in a little different world there. But I just want to say that my perception of the film like I think it's awesome, and I have a really good time watching it, and I identify with some of the characters, and some of the characters disgust me, but I'm being moved either way. So that's just a different perspective for you, you know.
Did you see the 4K?
I don't think so, but I did see mine was widescreen. I don't know if it was 4K. I don't feel like I ever watch anything in 4K.
Oh, yeah, the 4K looks pretty good.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to see
the colors pop.
I will. Yeah. Where can I see the 4K?
Well, it's out on disc. Do you have a 4K player and TV?
I have a 4K TV. Let's see if I can hunt down
player.
Yeah, I might have to find a player. I'll just find somebody with a PS5 or something, pop it in there. I know somebody with one.
Okay, well, if you have a 4K player, that's the way to watch it.
If it's worth, I will take it from you.
So, for AJ, a lot of the like the friendly fire stuff, the burn the flag, like, that stands out to him. Was there any backlash for any of that kind of stuff in the movie?
No, I mean political backlash.
Yeah. No. I think it would probably be more so today with the internet, but
no, I don't even know if it would be today. It's sort of like everybody thought, like, oh, Maniac Cop, the police and all this. They found the humor in it. They loved it my brother is a prosecutor in New York, and he had the Maniac Cop poster in his office. And of course, police would come to his office every day and they would laugh. They'd see the copy line, "You have the right to remain silent forever." And they would laugh. So I don't think anybody took Uncle Sam seriously.
Yeah. So I listen to Quentin Tarantino's podcast sometimes, and I heard him talking about, I think it was True Romance, where he said you were originally going to make True Romance.
Yes.
Oh.
And so what was the story there? Because then he said, like, I think the studio paid you a lot of money not to make the movie.
I discovered the project with Quentin. Quentin sent me the script. I loved it, optioned it, and found the company to finance it, and started pre-production. Casting, I did a lot of casting on it. And suddenly the script got into Tony Scott's hands because it was sent to him as a writing sample because he was looking for somebody to punch up Crimson Tide. And Tony Scott said, "Gee, I want to make this movie." And that's the story. And Tony Scott and Bill is a memory. I mean, at the time, Tony Scott was the biggest grossing director in the world. His films made the most money of anybody in the world. So I can understand why financiers found it, where they paid me off and brought in Tony Scott.
Did you know Quentin very well, like, at all, or did you
at the beginning? Yeah, we were talking every day, and we had a project that we were working on together, and he reminded me of it actually when I saw him a few years ago, and I mean, he was as big a film buff as I was, and it was kind of remarkable because we both were able to, like, name the second feature, for the AIP movie that opened, and we were like really, we knew our movies.
Mm-hmm. So you know him like a little bit, and when he starts to take off, were you proud of him? Like, what did you think? Like, wow, this guy's really becomes one of the biggest directors of modern time.
I gotta say, when I saw Reservoir Dogs, there was no doubt this guy was dynamite. He was, this guy was a major talent. And his scripts was so good. The script of True Romance was really good. And it was funny enough, everybody rejected the script. At one point I was sending it around, to look for financing, and everybody rejected it. In fact, they would send angry notes about it, calling it basically obscene. But they couldn't see through the movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying anything people don't know, but he really changed the movies. I mean, people really copied him after, Tarantino's movies. Todd Quality Yeager checking in and still have my original Maniac 1 sheet from when it first came out.
Oh, congratulations. I don't. No, actually, I have it framed. I do have a framed one. But all my rolled Maniac Cop, Maniac posters, I was giving them out like cheap cigars because I kind of felt they would always be around. And eventually my roll that was this thick got down to this thick, and I may have a couple left, but yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite posters. It's like so just like sleazy, and I'm just a big fan of the art. When you first saw like the art for the Maniac Cop poster, like did you just like, oh, this is perfect? What did you think?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I expected. I was called in to the distributor's office, and they showed me the poster, and I was like, it was when I saw the artwork, it was like pretty severe. I had never seen anything like it. And they were excited, and I didn't really know what to make of it. It was so provocative. There would have been nothing like it, and it took me a while to embrace it.
Yeah, this is my 8-bit rendition of it. This is like my Nintendo version of it. I also did an Uncle Sam one here.
All right.
Yeah. So if they ever want to put out the 8-bit version games of either,
yeah, we got you.
So Uncle Sam's your last, narrative feature that you directed. Over the years, did you ever, want to direct a new movie, or have you attempted to?
I always have that desire. But then, the business has changed so much. I mean, guys, they're making movies for like $100,000 and, $200,000. And I mean, I just don't know if I could do that. It's just too low. I don't know. The business has changed. There used to be kind of a democracy in the marketplace. Theatrically, it was democracy, because if you had a film that succeeded, you had a runway to profit from it. Today, everything is sort of centralized in the digital world, where you have a couple of major players, and what they pay for your movie is what they determine. It's not determined by the audience. It's determined by what somebody perceives the value of your film to be to them. And so you're really stuck in a box financially. You're in a box where there's no real upside to it. It's, I'm sure somebody's making a movie right now that will have an upside, but it's very rare. It's very rare that there's an upside.
I mean, that's true. I mean, AJ and I know a lot of indie directors, and very few of them make a profit or even break even on their movies.
Well, I don't know the movies, but it's just hard because it's such a, and then where do you go? If you go to Netflix, you go to Amazon, you go to Hulu, where do you go after that? Then you're down to like Shudder and places like that, which pay very small license fees comparatively.
Mm-hmm. Do you still watch like new movies?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. If you were here, you would think I'm a hoarder because I got tons of
I'm happy
Blu-rays and 4Ks in my living room. I got piles all on my coffee table, and Yeah, I have accumulated quite a few.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. So what are some like current movies, in the last few years that you would recommend for people?
I'm trying to think. I assume horror. You're thinking of
Yeah,
horror.
horror, but anything is cool. But yeah, it's horror. A couple horror anyway, and then maybe just anything.
I really like Talk to Me.
Oh yeah,
I thought that film was very good.
yeah. Did you see their newest one?
No,
Bring Her
I'm
Back.
looking
I thought
forward.
Oh, it's great. I thought that and Sinners were for me the best two horror movies this year.
Yeah, I missed seeing that. I just saw a terrible horror film, Megan 2.0.
Yeah, I saw it. It's not a horror movie. I would say it
was just awful. The first one was good. It was
I like the
clever.
first one a lot too. Yeah.
Good script. Did you see the second one?
Yeah.
AJ?
Did AJ?
No.
Oh, it's just terrible.
Is the dancing not as good?
It's just stupid. It doesn't. It feels like a revamp,
Yeah, they gotta reinvent.
Yeah, but it was just like the first one was so fresh.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything from the first one. I was just like, oh, it's a killer doll movie, but it was smart, it was fun. It worked.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you, there's a director who I've become a fan of this year, and his name is Christopher Smith. Do you guys know of him?
Yeah, I actually think he was on the show years ago for a movie he made. I forget the name of it now. Black Death, I think.
Okay. He is a real talent. I loved Creep.
Mm-hmm.
Takes place in the London Underground. Did you see it, AJ?
Wait, I might be thinking of a different Creep. Okay. I think I'm thinking of the Mark Duplass one.
No.
Yeah, the one that's on.
He did that. He did a movie called Triangle. Really clever films, very well done genre films.
That's this guy on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend you guys checking out his movies.
We will do that. We're both actually writing them down here.
And Severance.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I really have enjoyed his films. I'm trying to think of some more films that I've seen. I was at Tribeca Film Festival, and I saw some good films there. Here's a film I don't think here's a film very few people have seen that I really think you ought to seek it out. It's called Psychotherapy.
I like the name.
Yeah. It's it stars Steve Buscemi.
Oh, nice. I'm a big fan.
As a serial killer, a retired serial killer.
Well, I've not heard of this.
And he meets a down on his luck novelist who he's one of the few people who ever read his book. And they meet up, and he wants him to write his story, his biography.
Huh.
And it's very good.
Is this new?
Yeah, it came out last year. I'd not heard of it. Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. All right, I'm going to check this out.
Same.
Yeah, that's very good. I also like the film. It's kind of a crime thriller. It stars Shea Wiggum. It's called Lake George. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Very good film.
I will check this out too. Right.
You got to come in, Neil, for Tribeca Film Festival.
I would love to. I'm a big fan of festivals. I've never been to Tribeca. So. I know AJ is going to try to get our movie into some festival. I don't know if we'll get into Tribeca or not. But what are some of your favorite?
Brooklyn Horror. I'm going to be. It's another good one. Red Rooms.
Have you? We saw that same year when I met you at
very good movie.
Yeah. In fact, we might have both been sitting in the back for that movie. In the back of the theater. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to go to Brooklyn Horror this year and
nice.
go there as a civilian and go watch movies because I love it.
I'm very happy that you say that. That you actually, it's great if you're being honored or something, but that you just go there as a movie viewer.
Oh, I buy a pass and go to the movies. And I
that's
really
a really
enjoyed
cool
that.
theater too, at Brooklyn Horror.
I got my little perch seat in the back.
Yeah.
Which they've unofficially named for me.
You get that official.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the gold plaque on it. I might be surprised this year. I might be surprised.
Yeah, I think Annabelle and I may have stuck in there with you at the last one, but into the perch. Yeah. But I remember you also told me Citrus is a great festival. Which
it's the best. They because they're really at the top of the game. They get the cream of the crop. Everybody wants to be in Citrus. And so you're really seeing a great selection of films there. Yeah, I really
Todd says I was pushing Lake George on to everyone I know last month. So he's also a fan here, Todd Quality Jaeger, who does reviews for us on the website. So he knows his stuff. Todd, you can review that movie. We'll put it up on the website. Someday I would like to do an interview with you about the movie Relentless. I'd like to rewatch it, but I always thought that's a really underrated movie that you made. That another one that people don't really talk a lot about.
Frankly, that film, Relentless, has made the most money of all of my movies. Not all of them combined, but individually. Really? Relentless was a very, very successful film. In fact, they made 3 sequels to it.
I didn't even know that, actually.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
Were you ever asked to direct any of the sequels?
Yes, that's how I met Quentin. I was looking for a writer for Relentless 2. And I met Quentin. And Quentin sent me the writing sample of True Romance. And I said, fuck Relentless 2. I want to make this movie. And that's how that came about.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. No, it's I went to see it in the theater when it came out, and I thought it was great. And it's not one that I hear a lot of people talking about.
Yeah. In fact, when I sign stuff, I very rarely get anything from Relentless. Yeah, the most of them I get is Maniac Vigilante and the Maniac Cop films, and occasionally Uncle Sam and Relentless. But yeah, Relentless was very successful in its time. I think it's because in many ways, it's very mainstream. It doesn't have any of the quirkiness of the Maniac Cop films or the edginess of Maniac or Vigilante. It's just very mainstream, kind of, mainstream, designed for a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you want to make money, clean it up.
Well, it's pretty dark movie.
I think it was also of its time. I mean, I think that I would probably go for edgy more than I would say make a mainstream film. It was just that time, that period of time. The video stores, it was the two, 3 heads on a box period. I had 2 good names in it, Judd Nelson, Robert Loggia. They were great video store names. So it sold a shitload of videos at a time when the video wholesale was like $50, $55. It sold like 115,000 out the door on video alone. And that year, it was like the 7th top grossing independent film in the country. It was
Damn.
I know.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, I don't think Judd Nelson really. Maybe he did, but I don't think he did any horror movies up until that point. So it was like really like it was cool to see like Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club. Now he's and now he's like serial killer.
I mean, he was hottish, at the time. I mean, he had done Breakfast Club and all those John Hughes films, and so he was a name.
How did that come about for him to do it? Because it's like really, it's not something that he would normally do. So was he like looking to, do something completely different?
I think someone at Cinetel got the script to his agent, and Judd Nelson was interested in doing it and wanted to meet me. And when I met Judd, you know, he'd asked me, you know, what I've done, and I mentioned Maniac, and he got all excited. He said, "Oh, I used to hang out with Joe at such and such a bar in New York. I would see Joe there," and he got all excited, and we worked together. He couldn't have been nicer.
That's wild, because I wouldn't expect him to be I guess you don't know who's a big fan of Maniac or Joe Spinell.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know, especially at that time. Today, it's sort of grown, and people who haven't even seen it kind of perceive it as being a classic horror, you know, so there's a certain amount of respect. But back then, it was like very controversial, and yeah, there would have been some people running for the hills.
And I know you've talked a lot. Joe Spinell, what was he like as a person? I know you've talked a lot about Joe, but he's just I see all kinds of, not even just movies he's like stars in. Like, it's always cool for me to see him pop up in anything.
Joe, firstly, Joe was a great actor. He really was. He did. He had a stage history before getting into the movies. And when he got into movies, boy, this guy had such range of characters that he played. He wasn't just a mob guy. He played a lot of different things. And he always wanted to be a star of horror films. I met him on the movie The 7-Ups. And he always wanted to be in horror films and to become the new Vincent Price. And so we look for ideas and scripts and stories that maybe we could do together, and we kind of came up with the idea for Maniac. And Joe was just a wonderful guy. He did have his vices, and at least at the time we did Maniac, his vices were limited to vodka and weed. They later kind of became a little more after that, but at the time of Maniac, it was vodka and weed.
Manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable. Totally manageable. You'd open up the door to his dressing room, and I mean, it was really like comic book. You know,
that's like being around AJ. Yeah.
It was like kind of Saturday Night Live. You know, we opened up the trailer and
what a fella.
Yeah. Well, on AJ's film, Debbie Rochon gave me advice as I play the villain in the movie, and she told me to spinel it, which is a term that she uses to just go for it if you're in a role. Yeah. Because she said, like, Joe Spinell, he'd be sweaty and all, and don't worry about any of that. Just, you know, go for it. And I was like, and so that's something I'll always remember.
Oh, that's very nice of her. Yeah, Joe went for it. But you know, the thing about it is, so many people didn't realize when you called cut, it was like, you know, what are we doing? We want to, you know, it was like he really was an actor on camera. He wasn't like one of these guys who took it to the dressing room or something, you know. Everybody always thought, gee, what would it be like to hang out with him? He was hilarious.
That's awesome.
This last trip to New York, I went to our favorite Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. And I always remember that we wind up there like 2 a.m, and he'd be having clams with black bean sauce. I mean, he loved it. Clams with black bean sauce.
Doesn't sound particularly good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We could get some of the clams that AJ got.
Yeah. Gross. Ooh.
I know. I used to look at it. I was sick to my stomach with it. And he would take some of the spare ribs and he would have like a spare rib in between. Yeah. And he put salt on the spare rib. The only guy who used salt in a Chinese restaurant.
Not enough MSG. We got to put some salt on it too.
Oh yeah. He died too young. He died too young. Oh, sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Maniac. So you said you were going to be in Portland soon for
Yes. For the screening of Maniac and Vigilante at the Hollywood Theater. It's going to be, somebody look up what Saturday that is. I'm not sure if I leave on the 18th or the screening is on the 18th. Whatever that Saturday is. Is it the 19th of July?
We'll look it up.
What is it? Nobody has a calendar handy?
Oh, so you want to know just the date?
Yeah.
On the 18th of July?
Is that a Friday or a Saturday?
That's
18th?
a Friday. That's a Friday.
Okay, then it's the 19th.
Okay.
Saturday the 19th at the Hollywood Theater.
No, very cool. What's that experience like? Obviously it's your movie, but do you still enjoy watching your movies with an audience?
Nope. I usually get friendly with the popcorn concession stand people, and I eat popcorn in the lobby while the movie is going on. That's kind of my MO.
Yeah.
I occasionally, I'll listen in the leak. I'll hear, where the movie is at. But I can't stand sitting through movies with an audience.
Uh-huh. Not your own movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's too painful.
I said the only time I met you was Brooklyn, but it's not true. I also met you at Coolidge after midnight. Was it Maniac Cop 2, I think? Screening for Maniac Cop 2.
Oh, that I sit through.
Yeah.
Because that film is a real fast-paced popcorn movie. And I love to hear the audience reaction to it. And especially at that time, it wasn't that old that I was sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I probably wouldn't sit through it, but back then I did. And I love Coolidge. That was such a great place.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite theaters I go to a lot. They do a horror movie marathon for Halloween. It's 12 hours. It's midnight till noon the next day. They'll have two headliners that they'll say. They'll have one theme, like witch movies or whatever, and then the rest will be mystery movies from all different years, and it's just a fun experience.
Yeah, that's great. I just, it's so bone-chilling cold in the winter up there. Oh, my
yes,
God.
It is. Yes,
oh,
it is. Yeah.
Oh, just to walk across that street to the courtyard was like, oh, my God. Felt like I was in The Thing.
Which I've seen The Thing at midnight at Coolidge after midnight. They show it in wintertime, which is a good time to see The Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go there now when it's warm.
They never
don't go to Sundance.
They never invite me to Coolidge when it's warm.
They have good popcorn there too.
They do. Yeah. I like the place.
I'm a fan. All right. So anything else coming up that people should know about? Where could they follow you anywhere?
Well, they can follow me on Facebook, although I never post. They can follow me on X. I never post. I just am not a social media guy.
Uh-huh.
Good fella.
I just don't do it. I don't know.
Neither is AJ. AJ's not a social media.
Yeah, I'm not a social media. But I got accounts on these places. I just buy the Blue Underground 4Ks. Hopefully I get to meet the people who see this podcast. I'll be in New York for Brooklyn Horror, and hopefully maybe the Coolidge people, since it's going to be cold in October, I'm sure, will invite me up there.
Yeah. It says we have 136 people listening right now. So they should come and check you out at some of these locations.
All right.
Yeah, it's always fun having you on the show. I'd love to have you back anytime.
Neil, Nasty Neil, I'll call you your proper name.
It's my given name.
I hope to see you at Brooklyn Horror.
Yeah.
If not, I'm sure we'll run into each other. Cousin AJ, I wish you all the best with your movie.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, and I hope to get a chance to see it someday.
Oh yeah, I'll show it to you. Come on. I gotta hear what you think. So,
right.
don't worry.
I'm going to tell you honestly. So
Good.
don't bullshit people.
That's all I want. There's no way you can hate it as much as me.
This Neil guy out of the movie would have been a lot better. But,
Well, listen, fellas, thank you for inviting me on the show.
yeah, thanks for doing it.
And I hope to see all you guys again. Does this show get posted somewhere?
Yeah, so it's live now, and then it'll be on YouTube, Spotify. It'll be on the website and all the different podcast platforms. I'll send you a link.
Thank you, please.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, take care, fellas, and have a good night.
Thanks. You see you
Thanks,
too.
Bill.
You'll take him out of here. There you go, Bill Lustig.
Love that guy.
I'm a big fan. He's awesome.
He's awesome.
Vagina wrinkle misted. Sorry. Yes, 147 people here. All right, cool. Thank you guys. So hit the like button, subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you get notifications every time we are live. And if you'd like to help support the show, you can become a member. It starts only $3 a month. There's also a $10 tier, which you'll get IMDb credits. This is something I just started. I think you can become a producer of Without Your Head, the podcast. And so if you do that, you'll get producer credits for that month of shows.
What?
It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm gonna show this here. I've been working on this. I stayed up till 7 in the morning. This morning. So,
dude.
And then he can.
The island. Oh my god, it's so good.
I'm very happy with how this came out. I really didn't think I thought, I probably won't be able to do anything here, but I love it. And whenever I do something, like when I made the 8-bits, I've really studied. Well, anyway, so I made a whole workplace and back here. I'm in my basement for the show, and over on this side of the basement, I made a whole workshop for puppets. And so if I do something, I like to go all in with it. So I've decided to now I'm a puppeteer, but no, I'm going to start making some more puppet stuff. I really enjoyed it. It's been a fun experience.
You should have done the first 10 minutes with Bill
exactly.
with only the puppet.
This is the hand. Some people suggested I trimmed it up so you could see the fingers, but I kind of like it all shaggy like this. It sort of reminds me of Creep Show with Jordy Verrill when he turns into when he starts to turn into the plant at the end.
Yeah, so. Dude, that stuff looks so good. I'm telling you.
So yeah, this is why it doesn't matter. This is wire and felt and fur. This lip is actually a jump rope that I cut up, and then I wrapped it in fleece. I don't know, just trying to think of ways that would work. It would work, and it works. So.
Make me want to make a puppet.
Yeah, I have I found this place in Dorchester. It's not the greatest area. People know Dorchester up in Boston, and anyway, I found it's like a discount fabric store. And so I was in Boston doing a movie with former co-host here, Andre. So anyway, the prices were insane. So I bought this giant thing of brown fur that was so cheaper than I can buy anywhere else. But then I'm like, well, how am I supposed to carry this around for Boston the rest of the day? So I folded it all up and I got it in my backpack. But my backpack was completely it couldn't be any bigger. And it was 94 out, and I was literally just soaked in sweat because I was carrying around this giant fur. And I was like, I probably should have thought this through a little better. But I probably lost a lot of weight walking around with a bunch of fur. Yeah. So and then I was telling, it was a really weird place because the owner's looked like he's 90, and he had 3 old dogs in the place, and I was like, I don't think. That's probably not good to sell fabric with all your dogs walking around, but I was like, I don't care. I kind of like it. It gave the whole place character. So.
Guy gave up a long time ago, but you got a full pioneer experience. That's what it was like to kill and take your own rawhide and then have to trek back home with it.
Exactly. And so I'll be back. I was like, I make puppets. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't know if he really cared or not, but I'm like, I'm going to be back to buy some more material. It made me laugh anyway. So I don't know if Troy, I think Troy, I know he lost power. I don't know if it ever came back on.
Got swept away in the flood.
Yeah, let me ask him. So originally we were, this came together last minute. Because the guest that we were going to have on, Christy Angus, I believe, who's the girl who gets her head frozen and smashed in Jason X. She had to reschedule, which is totally fine, but so she'll be on later this month. And I wanted to do an interview with Lustig this week for the 4th of July. And I was
Perfect.
like, would you be able to do it like Thursday live? And he's like, absolutely. So it worked out perfect. Yeah,
it was perfect. What a cool guy.
Yeah, he is super nice, a really nice guy, supportive. And I've known people who are, and make movies or used to make movies, and some of them like they don't like movies today or that kind of thing. And I love that he loves movies. Like you could tell he gets really excited when he talks about movies, and he still goes to movies. And I like that he goes to festivals to see movies. I think that's all very cool.
My God, he was running circles. He's like, I've seen 100 movies this month. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen it? I was like,
yeah. I was like, I felt like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was in my ass. I was like, God damn, this guy's seen so many movies.
Thank you, Vagina Wrinkle. Vagina Wrinkle, you won a sticker last week. So I know I have your address, but I don't know where it is anymore. So you have to resend it. Fun interview. Thank you, Mr. Deadman.
Deadman Dave.
Love your work, Bill. Jim Stedman. Yeah, it's good stuff. Have you ever seen Relentless? Yeah, I think you should watch it. It's really like, I think it's a one horror movie made that people don't talk a lot about. And it's interesting that it made the most money for him.
It is interesting. I kind of want to go through just his library now, especially after some of those stories. I'm like, holy hell. Like,
yeah, some of our older ones, we talked a lot about Maniac and the Maniac Cop movies. If you've never seen the Maniac Cop movies, they're great too. And Maniac's just one of my favorites. Very sleazy movie.
Yeah, I like Maniac.
And I do like the remake too. I like that it's completely different because I remember when I first heard that Elijah Wood played the Spinell role, I was like, that's like really miscast because this good-looking guy, young good-looking guys playing role that doesn't fit him, but they changed it so it made sense, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love Elijah Wood, and I was kind of iffy on that movie, but I still think it's good.
Yeah. I also do think that the doing it in the POV isn't, I don't know, I think, you get kind of tired of it after a while, but it does have the cool reveal where it's like, where you do see him in the reflection of the car and it's like the poster, basically the scene from the poster. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I do think a couple of the, cause they do like some CG for the scalping and that doesn't look particularly great.
I mean, that's like these fucking marketing teams, kind of like putting their hand on the paintbrush and being like, oh, it'd be this really cool gimmick, or whoever, but it's like, it is a gimmick. And so it gets people in the seats, it gets them to buy the ticket. And people were talking about that a lot when that movie came out. Like, oh, it's all POV. So then you have like, what was that other one that was all POV? The action one?
Yeah, I remember, but I can't. I know that I just saw that there's a new first ever side-scrolling movie.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna watch that just because of that gimmick.
Yeah, see? Yeah. They'll start a whole trend.
Oh, Hardcore Henry.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
But maybe everybody went and watched
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just like Men in Blacked it out of your brain.
Christopher Smith that he brought up, because I thought I had him on the show when someone mentioned him recently, and I was like, I think he was on the show like a long time ago before like people really knew who he was, and I looked it up, and he was for this. It was a cool, like very low budget horror movie. So it's neat to see that he's like getting named for himself now.
Yeah, that was a good encyclopedia brain. I can't believe you remembered that.
Yeah. I could see him and Quentin. I do enjoy. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, even though I host a podcast, but I do like Quentin Tarantino's podcast because even I don't even agree with a lot of his opinions. He's so passionate about the different movies he watches that I just respect that. You know, some of his takes, though, I'm like, I don't know, man. But
he's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you kind of have to be insane though. Like, I tell everybody I'm insane. It's true. It's a warning.
I'm gonna take this off now. This is hot.
Put it back on. I'm just kidding. You wore that for a long time. You committed.
Yeah. My head's all sweaty now. It's hot down here. All right, I'm gonna send the link out if anyone would like to join us and come talk to us. Have some kind of topic.
And I'll argue with you.
Yeah, and I have some trailers that people have sent in. We'll get to them here 1 second. I'm just gonna post this out. Join us and talk horror stuff. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you know, like, roughly? Do you have like a time frame where you do think like our man Funk would like be ready to like even a trailer or anything? I think it's best to just do it so it's so it's good and not worry about like it's got to be out at a certain time or anything.
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of stuff that goes into post for like years and years and years. And that's not my plan.
Yeah. I think there's a good middle ground between years and years, and let's get it out as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, like Grizzly Man was cut in 8 days. I know that's a documentary, and it's very different, and it's got a set storyline because like the dude gets eaten, but I think it's a feeling, and so I definitely want it to be like showable by the end of the year. Hopefully quite a bit before that.
All right.
What's up, Todd?
Hey guys. Well, it was interesting that he brought up a couple movies that when I'm at work and customers come in, depending on what they're seeing, I have a stack of Blu-rays or DVDs handy and go, well, when you get home, you need to see this. And that's what customers now come up to me. First thing they say is, what do you recommend today? Well, he mentioned Lake George. And beware, there is another film called Lake George that came out this year that is not the same thing. So I was like, my eyes just lit up when he mentioned this one. And then, of course, the other one I've been recommending lately just because was Triangle. So this one, oh crap! It's one you could watch dozens of times and still pick up stuff you haven't seen before because it's that complicated and amazing. But I've also been recommending, because there's a new release of I, Madman from 1988. Please tell me you've heard of this one.
I have seen it.
Okay. Yeah. But then if you want fun, because I know 28 years later, they are not zombies. I slap anyone who says they are zombies. But I do recommend this Korean film. If I could just, sometimes these slip covers are not cooperative. Zombie for Sale.
I've not heard of that.
It's kind of almost humorous on a Shaun of the Dead level, but it's amazing. And then I have two more, just because if you have Shudder, but you know me, I'm physical media, The Beach House. And
I've seen The Beach House. I saw it at the theater. What was the last one?
Harpoon.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
It's got the kid from Turbo Kid.
Oh, nice. I'm a big fan of Turbo Kid. I made a mistake when we had the kid from Turbo Kid on. This is back when we were audio only and we used to take phone calls. And I opened up the phone line and we got like 100 phone calls from all these like young girls just like salivating over the guy.
Well, Harpoon, I will say, beware. There is a film from the Netherlands or something from, I don't know, over 10 years ago that's really bad. And it's also called Harpoon, but it's not this one. And then I will also
2019.
Yes, and it's amazing. It's a 3-person film, takes place on a boat. Amazing. It's really tense. And then the other one I've been recommending, and I guess you can see it on Shudder, that I have the Vinegar Syndrome / Shudder Blu-ray, is Sissy. It's it's got a bunch of dumb, do I call them Gen Xers or millennials? Who are the ones that would be more college age now? But anyway, and they're young. Todd looking like what? I didn't catch that.
Gen Z.
Okay, Gen Z. It's a bunch of them, but I got to tell you, it's darkly funny. One of those Tucker and Dale versus Evil things. Yeah. Accidental deaths keep happening no matter what, and it's just fun. So that's what I'm excited about, is that, and for me, better than Talk to Me was Bring Her Back. I'm
a big fan of both. I really like both of them a lot, but I think Bring Her Back was great.
Oh my God. Talk to Me, I thought was overhyped.
I don't think so. I think it's really good, but I thought Bring Her Back is excellent.
For me, a friend of mine and I, we had A24 passes to go up to LA and see a screening at the Arrow. And unfortunately, the 30 people in front of us, they stopped letting people in. So we drove to LA for nothing. And then I finally waited till it came out to the theater I work at. And I was kind of like, I didn't feel sorry for the brother because he was a little asshole and he just, I'm going to do this. And then that happened to him. And then the sister just became more and more addicted. And
yeah, I loved it, but I saw it the weekend it opened and it had no buzz really. Besides like a trailer, no one had seen it yet. So I was like, wow, this is cool.
Well,
but Bring Her Back is super dark.
Oh my God. I never look,
so
I'm old. I've seen everything, but Bring Her Back had me squirming.
Yeah. It's more than, it's got like some scenes in exactly where you're just like, oh, but it's also really good movie.
Well, when she was biting that table, that got me. But
and the knife scene, yeah.
I winced a few times. I audibly yelled "shit" out loud like twice. So, and the ending, honestly, very satisfying. I'm not going to spoil it for people, but let's just say a lot of movies nowadays want to give you an ending that leaves you going, oh. A very down ending. This one was just satisfying, and I'm really, really happy about that. Now, I want to ask you guys.
Bring Her Back. You should see it, AJ. Me and Troy and our mom went to see it.
If you like,
don't bring your mom to see that movie, but it's a good movie for our mom. Go on, AJ.
Now, you gotta
see. Oh no, you gotta see the YouTube videos that those guys used to make. Namely, there's a Ronald McDonald horror short film, and it is It's one of. They made it 15 years ago. It's on YouTube. It's one of the most insane fucking things I've ever seen.
You know what it is? I was watching you guys. And of course, when I'm at home, I don't wear a damn thing. And so when I realized when the camera I was going to be on, I like snatched what was closest to me, and it was a robe. So I could be Gandalf. I could be anybody you want. But
you gotta get one of those Red Hot Chili Pepper socks.
Oh, I will show you guys the video. It didn't open up, did it?
Oh, look at the shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna wear a shirt, but honestly,
that's
I have to keep my air conditioner set at 81, and it's warm in here a little bit because it's been like 112 degrees outside daily here, and I can't afford my Edison bill. So a robe. I was gonna wear a shirt, but like I said, it was too warm, so I thought I'd show off this amazing shirt. I know people who bought it just because they loved the design, didn't know about the movie. Yep. And of course, Hippie Dick. I always promote that.
Yeah, whoever made that's a friggin' genius.
I know. Hey, listen, people have said to me, I don't care what it's based on. I want that shirt. And they tell me they wear it and people
It's the
approach
first
them.
time I drew a pixelated penis before.
Yeah, and I will say you were pretty close to the actual size.
I studied it.
Oh. I don't think you ever saw the original photo, Neil. I mean, if you want to see it, I'll send it to you. But you know, it's
my phone saver.
It's very impressive.
My screensaver.
And I want to say about the sirloin and Dr. Zuma's shirt, Bill Whedon told me, because we just chat every day, that for his Vinegar Syndrome interview for the Sergeant Kabuki Man 4K in blue, that
he wore the shirt.
He wore the shirt for the interview, and so I'm proud because that will be
because I drew it.
That will be released in August's lineup of Vinegar Syndrome releases,
cool.
And so he's wearing the shirt. I don't know. He didn't tell me if they asked him about the shirt or anything, but he said I'm going to wear it. So I'm trusting that he did. And
I see. By the way, as people watch on an Instagram, I just started streaming the show on Instagram, but I can't. I don't see the comments on StreamYard, so it's easier if you go to the YouTube, and I'll be able to see your comments. But I did see there are folks commenting during the Bill Lustig interview, so I'm sorry that I missed this.
I do have a question for you too, though, both of you. I saw Uncle Sam. Now, Bill Lustig, he's the kind of guy I want to have lunch with and just talk movies. He's amazing. But Uncle Sam, I saw when it first came out on VHS. I honestly did not get it. I
too much to get. I mean, but
all his movies. Well, here you can explain this to me. I thought that the Uncle Sam character was out to kill people he deemed were not patriotic. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, I think because the sister explains that he was just a fucking he was a masochist,
right.
He's psycho, and he joined the military to express that. Like, he specifically joined the military to express that side of himself.
Well, it's just that I watched it once and only once on VHS, and I kind of after Maniac and Relentless and all that.
Well, I think both things can be true, though. I think in the movie, when he comes back from the dead, he is killing people that had burned the flags and all that stuff. But he also used, as AJ is saying, there's a good line in the movie about that, which, rewatching it, I actually thought the movie's a lot better myself, rewatching it, modern day, as an adult, too, because I would have been
maybe
20,
I'll
I guess,
try.
when it came out.
It's just that when to me, all I remember
is the idea is because there are people who do pursue something like that because they want to be able to, be violent.
He started killing some people willy-nilly, and then he was peeking in on naked women, and they're, obviously for nudity. But I was like, I don't get it. Is there a point? And I'd hate for Lustig to see this later and go, oh, you're an idiot.
I think that's actually.
I need an.
I think that actually adds to the movie, because it's someone. A lot of people are hypocrites. They'll be like, I'm rah patriot, but they're really,
And I just thought he started killing people that he weren't doing something unpatriotic. So I guess honestly, yes, I'll admit I need to rewatch it and kind of. And understand it better. But I just wanted an explanation from you guys. I didn't ask while he was talking because I didn't want. I would have had a question this long.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to.
Larry was scheduled for the show years ago, but it was right when his documentary came out, and then he passed away, sadly.
Well, my connection to Maniac Cop 3 is I know someone who played someone who I think he got shot in it or something. It's almost one of those blink and you'll miss it moments, but that's my connection to that one. And if you want to know something a little juicy about that, I will reveal that it was someone I had sex with.
Whoa.
I had to throw that.
Now I'm gonna go watch. watch it.
I'm gonna
for
sauce it
that.
up
I'm
a
like,
little bit. I just look at AJ. He's like,
So-
okay, no.
Is Dave brought up here in the chat, not horror related, but Michael Madsen died today. Yeah, he wasn't particularly old.
Damn.
I wish
And
I wish
so
I had it with me. You guys, I think I've mentioned it on the show before. I wish I had the Blu-ray handy, but a friend of mine, director Michael Mangelo, directed Being Michael Madsen. This is from around 2008, the mockumentary. And I got to see it at Dances with Films in LA when it came out. So if you're a Michael Madsen fan, you have to get your hands on Being Michael Madsen.
Damn, that's crazy.
So
I know, I was shocked
and
when I
so
saw it.
I just did this movie Beyond Terror for former co-host here Andre, which the whole thing is kind of weird for me because Andre started as a caller in our first year of the show, 2006, and he was like a teenager, and so and now he's making his own movies, and I'm like, oh, isn't he like a kid? I'm like, oh, well, that was 20 years ago, so obviously he wouldn't be the same age, but Michael Madsen's also in the movie. I didn't, he wasn't. We don't have scenes together or anything, but so I don't know. Maybe it'd be his final movie. And anyway, congratulations, Andre, for having Michael Madsen in the movie. But
I just watched.
It's not completed yet. It'll probably. I don't know. I don't know what his time frame is to complete the movie. But I did my scenes.
Ever see Dylan Greenberg's Spirit Riser?
Oh yeah. Dylan's been on the show several times.
I didn't Michael Madsen narrate that, or no? It wasn't Spirit Riser, but was it? Yeah, it was Spirit Riser.
Yeah, it was Spirit Riser, and it wasn't her one before that.
That's my other goal in life, is to be in a Dylan Greenberg movie. I think she's just amazing.
Where is Troy? Troy was here. He lost power, and then I lost power. My power was only out for like a few seconds. And then I just had to wait for the internet to come back. No, Troy says his power is still off. He says it was crazy for 30 minutes. And then he starts telling me how much he hates fireworks. I was going to get into him about fireworks tonight, but since he's lost his internet, I won't call him out. But
rats.
The point is, when we were young folks, Troy and I, our Uncle Barry we'd go visit our great grandparents in Pennsylvania. Then we would drive down to the Carolinas, and we'd stop at this place south of the border, which I think still exists, but they don't have the big people deem it racist mascot. He was like a big Mexican guy with a sombrero. And so you would see these giant billboards like 10 miles to south of the border, 5 miles. You just see them all the way down the highway. And then we'd stop and we'd buy a bunch of fireworks. We'd bring them back. They're illegal here. And then 4th of July, all the neighborhood kids would come. We'd light them off. And then a neighbor, Mr. Small, would always call the cops on us. So everyone in all the kids in the neighborhood, they really hated Mr. Small. He would also stand outside when we'd be playing basketball or frisbee or football. If the frisbee would go over the fence or the basketball, he'd run outside and he'd bring it in with him. He would take it.
He reminds me of that Edith Matthews song, "Punks, Get Off the Grass."
And so years ago, our mutual friend Mark, I like to say people's cold names, Mark Gavoni, emailed me, and the email just said, "Ding dong, the old bastard's dead." And I opened the email, and it was the obituary for Mr. Small, and I was like, "Oh damn!" And so my only thing was I'm saying is, Troy, don't become Mr. Small now. He's very anti firework, but he does not steal people's basketballs or anything.
Full circle.
I'm getting a beverage. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. If he was here, he would tell this long story. It was so Troy's 9 years older than me. So he was probably 13, and Mark was probably the same age, and I was probably like 4. And they were throwing tomatoes at Mr. Small's house. And so he says it was like a giant tomato because I was a little, and I brought up, and Mr. Small's looking out the window, and I just walked up and just threw it right at the window, and it smashed and rolled down the window. But yeah, Mr. Small. So None of us were fans.
We all had an old man that hated us / we terrorized, right?
Yeah. Then he would. I never understood this. It would be the 5th, the day after 4th of July. He'd come and knock at the door, and he'd have all these like bottle rockets and like sticks and stuff. And he's like, "I believe these belong to you." It was like the old fireworks stuff. And he'd go around picking them up, and I never understood how that was like supposed to get me. Like you went around and picked up a bunch of trash. I don't know. Like, okay.
I never understood those little black snake things, the little pellet you light them
I
up.
like those. I used to be able to get them out of gumball machines, and I recently smelled that smell. It's like sulfur, or not. I don't know what it is. The carbon maybe that burns, and it brought me back. It was just that memory.
Well, that would be the smell. Like when I was a kid, didn't matter. Kids brought them to school, little cap guns.
Oh yeah.
And well, we also had our Cub Scout.
You can't do that now.
School.
Then you
That's what's so we. Well, hey, we had jarts. I remember we played jarts, all the lawn darts, and
not jorts.
No,
not jean shorts.
Jarts, and it's and you know the funny thing is about jarts is you can buy them on eBay, but legally they're not allowed to sell the dart part, just like the fins and the. Yeah, it's funny. You get pegged one kid in the head with a lawn dart, and they're all pulled off the shelves like the song by Ed's Redeeming Qualities goes. But you know, guns, no problem. So it's just, hey, red, white, and blue. I got a guest star.
Yeah, I don't know if you can buy toy guns anymore.
I don't know why I just remembered this, Todd. But is there still that nudist colony in the desert?
Yeah, I know there's one north of, I hate to mention the town, Lake Elsinore. I used to live there for a year, but there's one kind of north of there. And then there's in Palm Springs itself, there is a condo type community because there's a bridge that goes across Indian Canyon that you can walk across if you're nude.
Across that footbridge?
Yeah, that footbridge that goes over Indian Canyon. Yeah. Those are still, you know, it's funny. When I talked to someone I knew in the housing authority, they were like, "Hey, Todd, if you want, I could arrange for you to get an apartment in one of the clothing optional communities." And I was like, but I'm happy in I'm happy in Rancho Mirage because everything's within walking distance for me that I need. But Palm Springs, everything's a little more spread out. So if you don't have a car, you're kind of screwed. But honestly, now that I think about it, I could have lived there. That would have been fun. Because clothes. Why?
Yeah, I just was like, man, I wonder if he lives there. I forgot that little community was there in Palm Springs.
Someone rings
I've seen them walk over that bridge, and I was like, Todd, I might have seen you naked before.
Well, I really wish. Although that's would be way too expensive.
Yo, my man.
Hey,
Drop Anthony.
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Hell yeah, it's good to see
Happy
you.
July 4th.
Happy 4th of July.
More
I went to go see Megan.
Blue. My airplane pillow, red, white, and
Nice,
blue.
I like it.
Yeah, I hate to mention this if William Lustig is still watching. I enjoyed Megan too. It is very stupid. I'll agree with that.
It is stupid,
I had fun. I had fun watching it, I'll admit.
So I'm good and everything, I'm getting ready for training next week.
It's not a horror movie. It's a weird sci-fi comedy, action, crazy movie, but I will admit I had fun watching it.
So I'm good. I'm getting ready for the big one next week, Superman.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Now this is
That's
a different
the first
Superman.
I've been looking forward to since Superman 2.
I'm looking forward to it. James Gunn can work his magic.
It's not the Superman with the hairy chest this time, is it?
No, it's David Cornsweat.
Oh man,
we lost a legend today, Michael Manson.
Yeah, rest in peace, Michael Madsen. Here's the South of the Border logo.
Wow, look at that.
He's no longer there, I believe. But
yeah,
that's his.
I'm up to 2014 in my memoirs.
Hell yeah.
Anthony always has such good energy. Thank you, Dave Deadman. Thanks.
What's the other news, Anthony?
Other news I watched Ironheart this week.
What's the word?
We saw the debut of Mephisto. He's here.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Yeah, I
alert.
believe Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, was Mephisto.
The devil is here, and we don't know how he's going to integrate in the Avengers movies.
I don't know. Once you start fighting the devil, isn't it just all over? Like, how do you beat the devil?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a hard sell, but I'm looking forward to him in Ghost Rider, you know.
Oh, he's doing Ghost Rider?
Yeah,
in the comics, he made a deal with the devil. He made a deal with.
I think once you get to Thanos, it kind of ruined the Marvel comics because the movies, because it's like he's the ultimate like world, and then like all the villains after that have to like we got to top Thanos, and it's like
the Avengers have to face Mephisto at some point. I'm ready for Fantastic Four though.
Fantastic Four. Saw that poster.
Fantastic Four. I'm gonna wear the Fantastic Four shirt that day.
I think every Fantastic Four film before this has been completely terrible. So
yeah,
I kind of like the '90s one. Did you
I like
the
the 2000 with Jessica Alba.
It's really bad, but I kind of liked it.
I'm good and everything, you know. I'm looking forward to a lot of things, you know. Going to the video store. My birthday's coming up.
Well, happy birthday. Next year's my birthday year. People celebrate a birthday month. I'm celebrating the whole year.
I'm celebrating 42 years young.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
This should get me in good graces with William Lustig.
It'll get good graces with me. I think that is AJ's trying to. I thought AJ was trying to do the Maniac cover there.
Well, this is the original Marie Sarabande LP from when it was first released. So this was released around 1980. And I love Lustig. Like I said, the only thing I didn't get was Uncle Sam, but I'll give it another try. Yeah, but otherwise, I'm a Lustig fan. I have the original. Oh, there he's doing.
I don't have a knife.
No, you need AJ. You need a little bulge there too.
Whoa!
Yeah. I have a little bulge. I need a big bulge.
I'm sorry because people. I didn't mean to make it sound like.
I already got the little bulge. Dude.
Everyone's got a little bulge next to Todd. I mean,
well, that's correct. I have proof, folks, but we can't show it here. I know.
Not here.
But yeah. But I'm really proud of this. I mean, I have it on CD too and everything, but this was, of course, when you could only get an LP or cassette, maybe an 8-track. And but there's my
that was that Coolidge. So he got the Coolidge After Midnight Award. It's kind of like their Hall of Fame. I think it might have been the first year they did it was William Lustig. And then what was cool is when we were doing Our Man Funk, and we were at Troma, I saw the one that they gave to Kaufman. Lloyd Kaufman was actually in the studios.
Yeah, they got everything in there. Damn, how old was that picture?
Yeah, I don't look like a different person, to be honest. I'm not sure how old it is. No, I don't think it's quite that old, honestly. I think it was 2017 or 18.
That's not that long.
It's close to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it's weird as time goes on. Things you think, oh, that was not that long ago. It's like, oh yeah, it was 9 years ago.
Oh yeah, I know because my ex-girlfriend reminds me constantly.
Yeah, but
I know you for 11 years. God damn.
This was some good Italian food, I have to say, in Brooklyn.
Dude. Wow. Classic. That's when he took you out?
Yeah, that was an amazing time.
What a guy.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. And I'm glad he remembered Red Rooms. That was a movie. Yeah, he was there for Red Rooms, and yeah, and he remembers it, so it's cool.
Wow,
Sitges. I would like to go there, but I think it probably costs a little bit. It's in Spain, I believe.
Yeah, the traveling alone.
Yeah,
Good.
So anybody out there wants to fly us, without your head cruise. So I can't say yet, but in August, look for a movie produced by Nasty Neil. It's going to be on Shudder. Be my first thing that I'm connected to will be on Shudder.
And I have Shudder now that Spectrum added AMC Plus for free on my Zumo.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to get it. That's how I get it too.
Yeah. So I'm kind of starting to, because I finally got to see The Ugly Stepsister that way.
Oh, that's good. That's a good movie.
And
I'm
still going to buy them on disc if they throw them out on, and I liked them, I'll buy them on disc. But now that I've got AMC Plus and Peacock and Paramount Plus.
You got the cock.
Yeah, so I'm getting to watch stuff I never like. Next, I'm going to look for the Creep tapes because I was going to buy that on Blu-ray, but here's a chance to get to see it before that on Shudder. So yeah, good stuff. I got
here. We've got some trailers that folks have sent in. You can do that every week. Just email me withoutyourhead@gmail.com. And the first one up is, and we're going to give our honest opinion. And when I say that, it always seems like we're going to trash it or something. But this one is from Buddha Jones. Which is a hell of a name, I have to say. All right, here we go. This is Tribe. And they may be on the show soon, so hopefully this is cool. I was actually trying to look over that.
In our world, there will be no loyalty, there will be no emotions except fear and rage. Always, at every moment, there will be the intoxication of power.
Devon, it's nice to finally meet you. Don't be afraid. You're safe.
Is this a dream?
No. This is real.
I don't understand. Where am I?
You're in the Kayamakas, the place behind the clouds.
Damn, that looks friggin' awesome.
That was wild.
They had a budget too. You can tell they had some budget on that one.
Yeah, but not just a budget. I mean, it's like there's a. It's well made trailer too.
Yeah, it looks at now the gentleman. God, maybe it's because I'm just. But he looked familiar. That actor.
Yeah, so they emailed not too long, actually earlier today, about coming on. So yeah, Buddha Jones will have all that on. That looks good. That was the movie's Tribe from Buddha Jones. Hellcat. This is premiering at Fantasia Fest. Pull this up. I could have had this all set up beforehand. It's playing. I can't stop it. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. And if you see me looking over to the side, I have multiple screens, so it's easier for me to look over here.
If you see me looking over to the side, I'm fighting my damn dog. Go away.
Here we go.
You've been infected.
Who are you?
I wish I could tell you what you want to hear. Get back! I can't.
All right, I'm into that too.
Yeah.
I like that
one a
both
lot.
trailers don't really give a lot away. You know, I'm
That's-
tired of them. the
That's what I hate
mainstream
about
trailers.
fucking studio. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Is they're like they're like a first, second, and
Reader's-
third act. I'm like,
Reader's
what? You
Digest
just gave me
version.
literally a 2-minute and 40-second fucking trailer that explains the entire plot, and then I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna go this way, and then it does, or it's an
And
exact.
they usually
swap
show the last scene too. in the
I hate
trailer.
it. I hate it.
And
I
I'm like-
love indie trailers because of this reason. I think that these two trailers are doing it right. Like, that's intrigue. I'm like,
Well, this
what
one
the
lets you know
fuck
you-
is
They both
happening
used
in
the
that
similar
arcade?
last shot where it was just like the bold, name of the movie.
Yeah, both of them. Now and of course this one lets you know, hey, there's
New
gore, but
style.
it doesn't really explain everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has me interested. This next one is from Blood Pact Films, The Uninvited Spirit.
Yeah, it's different. I've never explored an abandoned building before.
Don't laugh, but I have a theory black magic was practiced in places not far from here. Maybe.
The theory is that. Dear Ethan, no! This is from you to begin with. You shouldn't be here. You could be haunted. There's someone there.
Guys, come see this. It's not opening.
Stop it! Stop! Get out of the way! It's okay. It's stop! Let it down! Someone! I'm at the door! Someone is out of here!
I can feel an evil presence in there. I think they might have released it into our world.
Scottish. Scottish, right? Yeah.
Definitely got a deep story to it.
Yeah, you can tell there's something going on, but you don't know exactly what. So again, I'm glad they didn't give away too much. And obviously lesser of a budget than the others, but that's what intrigues me. So I'd be kind of interested to see what's going on with that one.
It seems
I
like
think
kind
the
of a
first
body
one really
snatcher
didn't
thing.
have a. What was that? Sorry, AJ.
Seems like kind of a body snatcher thing could be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with you though on the first. I don't think that first one had a huge budget. I think that they did some really creative
But
effects.
see, yeah, that makes sense. It was minimal, even though they were great looking. It was minimal.
Yeah, it was pretty sick what they did with that guy's head fucking cracking open.
The next one is Run from Hell from our friends at the B Stream, and you can use promo code NOHEAD. That's a without your head promo code, and you can save on your. You can become a member. I think it's fairly cheap anyway, and they got a lot of independent films on there and cult classics. Sorry, here we go. I don't know if this is a new movie or an old movie, but it's new to the B Stream. I think it's a new movie.
Who are they?
The final enemy to destroy is death.
We better get the machete.
This is their hell, but we don't have to die in it.
If you want us, come and get us.
So it's all in the woods.
Yeah, actually look very similar to my woods, and you're me.
But the accents are a little different. So.
Yeah. I will say the sound on the dialogue was a lot better there than on the previous one. It was a little hard.
The other one kind of lagged a little. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's well again.
I like those style trailers too that are like it's like a rhythm. Like that it's like hypnotizing. That was pretty fucking cool.
Like kind of the violins going on in there.
Yeah.
Especially since Yellow Brick Road, I really like when a movie can kind of maintain itself within like a woods setting without having to break away from that. So that'll be one interesting to see for sure.
It looked like a lot of deaths. Big body count.
Yeah.
Made me feel insecure. I was like, God, should I be putting more kills and things that like maybe I don't have enough kills?
Look at our friend Lisa Gay here for Independence Day. He's got the wig on. I love it. I thought I was cool with the hat. I got nothing on Lisa Gay. That's pretty sweet.
That's
I don't think I'm doxing myself anything here.
That's very new wave. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder how hot that wig is. That's gonna be wig.
Probably a lot. Yeah. Well, Neil, I will request one for you for a future one. There was one that I did scenes for a few years ago called Essence by Jeff Kakmarinsky. Lynn Lowry's in it. And he posted a couple months ago that he's finishing it, but he's gone through things and stuff. So what I've been telling everyone, he needs a good nudge. He needs people to say, hey, we support you. We want to see this thing get out. So on YouTube, there's a Essence work in progress video that's kind of like a trailer that shows a bunch of really surreal scenes. So sometime put that one up so we can get the word out for that movie. It's Essence.
Yeah. All right. Send it on my way.
And Astral Plane Drifter, of course.
Our friends Michael and Sophia and a bunch of other cool folks. Their campaign is up for Final Transmissions, which is their found footage analog series. We had them on yesterday.
I saw that.
It's really cool.
Been too long for Michael and Sophia project, so very stoked to see what they're cooking up.
Oh
yeah,
man.
I'm excited.
Fuck yeah,
good people. Saturday I'll be back. Lawrence R. Harvey is returning to the show from
and I gotta work.
From Human Centipede 2 and 3, but a lot of new stuff. He's got a lot of new stuff out, so we're gonna be talking about his new films. And we have to do it Saturday because he's in England and the time difference, so it'll be early Saturday.
And I would like to promote that Astral Plane Drifter. There were 2 screenings recently, one in Redlands and the other in Glendale here in California, and both went very well. there were 2 LA critics that were at the Glendale screening, and the one that was sitting next to me was laughing through the whole movie. So that's a good sign. And
awesome.
I finally got to meet actor Christoph Zajac-Denek, who was in the child Sasquatch in Sasquatch Sunset, and he was also in the Twin Peaks, the 2017 Twin Peaks series. And I finally got to meet him, which was a thrill. And so next is coming up in Belmore, New York. It's like an hour outside of Woodstock or something. But check astroplanedrifter.com. He's got a bunch of screenings across the country coming up. And so far, it's won 4 Best Feature awards, a Best Direction award, and some other awards. So it's doing well. He's doing the tour thing, which is better than just dumping it on streaming, because as Lustig said, you really don't make any money on streaming, really. So he's taking it on tour.
There's been some recent guests who did that, like Anthony Cousins, who made Frogman, like toured with the movie, and some other guests we've had on the show.
Yeah, and it's doing well for the screenings, and it's on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's the biggest one I've been in so far, but I'm so proud of it. And unfortunately, I still can't mention what I do in it. I'll just say I have 2 roles. But if you go to the website, there's a bunch of photos, and it mentions what one of my characters is on the photo. But we keep it a mystery, so that's all I can tell you.
All right. Our friend James Dean's killing it on My Blade Is Your Salvation. It's got 42 grand on. Wow.
I don't want to say I wish I was still living in St. Louis, but I know that if I was there, I probably would have gotten to be in one of his movies then, because he's really cool. And I thought I wasn't going to like Triple Xmas, but I really had loved that one.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. What were you about to say, Adrian? I'm sorry.
The movie's murdering. I think they got Jackie Kelly too. She's killer.
Yeah.
And it's a giallo. I would love to be in a giallo.
Yeah, the art's great. pretty exciting project. I do like this whole indie touring thing. And I too have a lot of opinions that I keep to myself because they're mostly bad opinions. But I think that the movie going experience has been pretty flat for probably the last I don't know 15 to 20 years, and I feel like the improvements it's kind of like income versus like housing prices, you know, like I feel like the technology has gotten way better and the movie going experience has gotten more expensive and not that much better. And I feel like they're dying and it's kind of upsetting. And so I wish that, you know, the bigger movies would do a little bit more for the theater going experience and try and cater more to that. But I don't think that they're going to. And so unfortunately, I think it's kind of like up to the indie crowd, and people will see movies wherever you set up a screen. Like these pop-up tours and all of this stuff. I love this shit. And I hope that more people can like bring their movies together to do, you know, like back-to-back screenings and things like they used to have at the drive-ins and stuff like that. So I like really encourage people to do that stuff. I'm hoping that there's a lot of people on our team that want to do stuff like that with funk. And I think it's important. I think it, you know, there's a whole underground following now, and everybody's kind of looking for, you know, obscure stuff that sort of they connect with. So it's an interesting time now. I love that culture though. I hope people keep doing that.
I do hope that the chains will be more reasonable in letting someone bring their tour thing and not make it like, well, you got to rent out a whole auditorium and it's going to cost this, because they do need to bring more people in. I, for one, hope that the theater experience will last a while longer, because honestly, I depend on it right now, especially when you have debt. And the thing is, those executives, they announced on the news and on posts saying executives got together and determined that theaters will probably be dead in 20 years. Well, when they say stuff like that, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like they're trying to get people's minds into thinking that, sort of like kind of what current government things do, where they tell you it's this, and you believe it. Or either these executives are also investing in something else that will make them more money so that when theaters die, they will be fine. I don't know, but I think the theater experience, for what I'm seeing right now, even if some of the big movies are really bit dumb, I'm happy to see that where I work, we're bustling.
Yeah.
It's especially the popcorn bucket thing now. Everybody's coming in for that, but it's really been busy and consistent, and I do hope it continues for a long time. It's like people saying physical media is dead, trying to make you believe that, but I don't think it's dead. And look, if they keep putting out 4Ks, then something's decent's going on. So crossing my fingers. So that we can.
I think it'll be around for longer than they say, but I do really enjoy the pop-up screenings, and I think that they can be done almost anywhere. Like, our tech is so good now that it's like, okay, you get a good PA system and a good screen for the night, and you didn't have to pay 20 grand to rent out a theater. But you still got to show your movie. You still got like audiences to see it. And so it kind of just like removes a little bit of the red tape that I see for a lot of filmmakers. But obviously everybody's goal is like, oh man, if my movie's playing on a big screen, you know, nobody's going to be mad about that.
The last screening of Astral Plane Drifter in Glendale was amazing. It was a big screen. The sound was beautiful. And you could tell people, the audience was laughing, and I was like looking around going, oh my God, they're laughing. But the screening before that, the sound was off. It seemed a little more to the left. Guitars in the score, you could barely hear them. So that one, but people still loved the screening, but the experience was not as it should be. So yeah, they need to get on the ball and make these, for these tours and these independent films, much more welcome, and not try to make them pay more than they're actually gonna take in. Because I got to see around, yeah.
That's more of a testament, I think, to your sound mixer and the sound department on Astral Plane Drifter, because it's, you know, they did a good mix. You guys had a good 5-1 mix, it sounds like. So yeah. It sounds good, which is very important. But where did you guys? Was it the Landmark? Where'd you guys play?
It was in the Look Cinemas.
Ooh.
But here's the thing about that, and I'm not trashing anything, but that dine-in experience where you don't go to a concessions area to order food. You order food from your seat. There's like a waiter who comes in. But the problem is, once all the food starts getting delivered in the middle of the movie, it's kind of distracting seeing people walking in and out and in front of, and it gets a little, you know, I can understand how people like that. But at the same time, for me, it was a little distracting. But yeah, it was, the last one was great. Sounded beautiful, looked beautiful. But for these small films, yeah, they do give filmmakers an incentive to bring their movies out like this, because if a theater charges too much, it's not worth the trouble. And Round the Decay, we had a nice small audience for that, but I was shocked that I even knew about it. I found out about it by accident. So, and that was,
I'm like the exact opposite. I want to be like, I don't want to miss a goddamn frame of the movie. And so if some ninja has to bring me my beer and impede someone else's view for a second, I'm okay with that. Because at least I didn't have to get up and go to the lobby. The next thing I'm excited for is like the catheters in the seat, so I don't have to get up and go to the bathroom during the movie.
Or there's just a little thing you flip up on the seat. You just kind of
little piss bucket on the seat.
Nobody will know what you're doing, although that would be more of a cleaning crew issue.
I got ideas, man. I'm an idea guy. You know what I mean?
Well,
I posted this like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had some weird dream where it was I posted on Facebook. I went in this new theater, and the big thing was that all the seats were toilets. so you never had to leave the.
I'm sorry, I'm pee shy. I can't do anything.
When we went in, everyone just dropped their pants and sat down, just like that's just how you watch the movie. And you sat there with like your pants around your ankle on the seat, and there was like a handle on the side to flush, and
well, it'd have to be a quiet flush, or that would be going
that
on
was
to
what
the home.
when I wrote the whole thing up, because I woke up and I was like, and I like really I thought I'd forget it, so I wrote it all on Facebook, and that was the only thing that I was worried about was, oh, if I flush the seat, like it's gonna make noise and distract from the movie.
Would it have a bidet?
I don't know. It had toilet paper, like in front.
Oh, well,
like on the
Love a
back of the
bidet.
seat in front, you had toilet paper, and yeah.
We love a bidet.
There was no like hand wash, any way to wash your hands though.
Well, there'd have to be a thing of sandy wipes.
Very impractical dream where you just shit into the ether in the middle of the movie and it just vanishes.
Look, Norman Reedus appeared in my last dream, so I'm still trying to figure that one out. But yeah, go
Talk
figure.
to a therapist about that one.
Yeah.
No, my
They're like,
dreams are weird.
this is not good.
You've seen Beau is Afraid and the other movie Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my dreams every day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why I don't take drugs.
Yeah, it sounds like you should.
No, my dreams
drugs.
are so weird. Well, I don't know, Neil, if you've ever read them, but whenever I do remember most of a dream, I write about it and post it on Facebook.
Oh, I
And
didn't
people
know
are
that. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a photo album called Dreams, and some of them people are, and it's always the last part of the dream, but it's so full with details. People are shocked that I'm able to remember all that. So I did remember back in the 80s, I remember I had a dream where I ran into Tina Turner in a nightclub. And it's stuff like that, but they're usually involving something more surreal that if you put it on screen, it would probably freak people out. So
You got to look into lucid dreaming.
Well, you got
to take control.
Well, I do realize when I'm dreaming sometimes that I am dreaming. It's the kind like where you're back in college and you didn't like I'll be walking through campus and, oh, wait a minute, I have gym class, like that's in college. And I don't remember where it is or what day is this course? And oh my God, I have a final. I didn't read the book, but I go in there, sit down at the desk, and I realize, okay, I graduated back in the 80s, early 80s. So this is a dream. And I just sit there and wait to wake up.
Oh,
so problem solved.
Fly away. That's better.
I've done that too. I dream a lot that I can elevate off the ground and move. So
maybe it's not a dream.
Well, Bill Whedon wants to make wants to get everyone involved and make a dream out of that one I had where we're in a clearing in the woods and we're in monk robes and we're all being handed chili in cups. And yeah, and then the woman says, okay, now the drops of blood. And we're each supposed to prick our fingers and drop blood in our chili. And I was too afraid to do it because I'm kind of squeamish about that. And I said to her, why do we need the blood? And she goes, to protect us from the werewolves. And then I woke up. So
it's a good time to wake up.
He says he wants to get Michael and Sophia in on that one and make at least a short out of it. We'll see.
Bill's a good man.
I'm fun to live with.
No, Bill wants to do the Guys and Fries calendar. So.
Yeah. I'm still, even if you have to Photoshop me, I do want to be a part of that if you will have me.
Yeah. So some other horror friends are involved, want to be involved. Dan Yeager, John Dugan, a little group of buddies.
John Dugan, I love watching his videos on a daily basis. So yeah, he would be great for it.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's good.
Obviously, I'm out.
Why?
I'll do the photoshopping.
You're very
well. I want to be there. He wants to recreate the Dr. Zuma sirloin thing, And I would love to do that, but I think they'll have to Photoshop it because everybody's way over on your end of the
Right.
country,
We'll
and
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
yeah. Well, and it's all brought to you by reindeer poo. I still have this. Anyway, I know. What is this country's obsession with poo? I never understood it with the poo emoji and all that. And here for Christmas, yes, a poo emoji shaped rainbow.
It is weird because it's like if you're like a little child, you grew up thinking like poop's fun and cool.
Yeah, that's very unsanitary. They don't get that it doesn't taste like marshmallows. But I was going to have a video, speaking of dreams, an idea from a dream. I was going to make one of my videos where me and someone were like passing the reindeer poo from tongue to tongue, or, you know, eating it off of the chest or something, making it like, yeah, that's why this is so freaking weird. But he passed away a few months ago. So now I got to find someone else who's willing.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right. I don't know about this, Dave Deadman. I met Tina Turner in a dream once. She made me fight Mel Gibson in some kind of dystopian Thunderdome.
No, I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, Tina, I've got all your 12-inch singles." And she goes, "You do? That's so great." And she goes, "What's your favorite?" And I said, "Better Be Good to Me." And then she goes, "Better Be Good to Me." And she starts singing it. And I'm like, that was the dream. So now I'm friends with Tina Turner.
That's how that goes.
Well, not now. It did. Wait a minute. She passed away, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I would say was friends with Tina Turner.
Was. Okay. Yeah.
Get the Ouija board out.
Oh no, that's I've never done.
I wanted to do that one. See if we could do like Ouija board interviews, like with like Boris Karloff and like.
Wait, is Ike Turner dead?
You know what? I don't know.
Because that'd be funny if like if you tried to get Tina on the Ouija board, but you accidentally got Ike.
Oh.
And
it would keep coming up and smacking you in the cheek. Oh God.
Oh wow, he died in 2007. So yeah, he's been.
Okay.
I figured he'd still have a lot to say if he was still alive. I was like, we definitely would have heard from him on a lot of different platforms.
Yeah,
he'd have a podcast now.
The Ike Turner podcast.
I was just watching. You're gonna like think less of me for this, I'm sure, but I was watching Can't Stop the Music with the commentary yesterday, and when I realized, oh yeah, they talked about Glenn Hughes, the leather guy, how he died, and I was like, oh no, he is dead. And I got really sad. Like I got really sad when I heard Joey Ramone died. I actually cried a little bit that day. So, you know, you keep forgetting these people aren't around anymore. We're getting at that point where everybody's in their 80s and 90s now. It's kind of fast. Yeah. But I hope I last as long as Bill. Bill's been, I mean, he's just bopping along like crazy.
He's got more energy than all of us.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's why I strive to live to be his age and longer if I can, and do what he's doing, because he's inspirational.
Yes, Bill's a good man.
He should be studied.
Exactly.
In a government lab. How is this man? He's only slept 3 hours and he is tap dancing still. How does he have so much energy?
We should study him and make drawings of him.
Yeah, make a clone. Hey there, Bill Whedon. Hey there, Bill Whedon. Imagine just like the Spider-Man meme, like a shit ton of Bills, just every generation of Bill Whedon cloned. That'd be fucking awesome.
I didn't know that there was a Vinegar Syndrome release of Kabuki Man coming out. So that's very cool.
I don't know if it's Vinegar Syndrome. Well, Vinegar Syndrome's been releasing a lot of trauma stuff. And so they basically, you know,
it's on film.
So that would be the best. It's going to be a very deluxe, I'm sure, rigid case thing with a 4K and a Blu-ray in it. And obviously there'd be a book, I'm sure. But Bill told me this was a couple months ago or something. He said, I'm doing an interview for the Sergeant Kabuki Man release, and I'm gonna wear the Dr. Zoomis sirloin shirt, and I was like, yeah. So yeah, it will be through Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, they just released Mac and Me, which is weird. Well, but it's $46.99. So if you really love Mac and Me, maybe that's worth it. But you know, if they can put Mac and Me in a 4K deluxe release for nearly $50, then hopefully other movies will get a good chance. But Sergeant Kabuki Man definitely will be one of theirs. It'll like be up for pre-order, I think, in August.
All right. Sounds good. I believe I think this is still free on Kindle, the End Zone 2 novelization.
I have it.
It's not too expensive. You can get the actual copy, but it was free on Kindle for a little while on Amazon.
Well, I did the perk where I got my name and the thank yous. I got the book,
you know,
and
not
everything.
everyone has it. Mm-hmm.
I don't do many perks these days because I got screwed over a few times. But
really, that's not good.
Yeah, 2 movies did not put my name in the credits.
And that hurts everybody out there too, who you know, who put together these crowdfunders to help.
Yeah, and when you reach out to the filmmakers and they ignore you when you say what happened and they ignore you, yeah, that kind of dampened my
I didn't get something that I really wanted from a campaign, and I've had this person on the show since then. I never bring it up, but yeah, it is.
I will tell you that on the flip side, one time I worked on a movie for a month at the start of COVID, and it was a terrible, awful experience, and it was in like a 5-story house built in like 1832, and we had 2 giant ass cameras, and I was on the camera team, and nobody would carry the fucking cameras up the stairs, and it would be like one scene on the 5th floor, next scene on the 1st floor, next scene on the 4th floor, next scene on the 2nd floor. So I just hucked these cameras up and down the stairs all day long, and they credited me as a grip in the credits of the movie and on the IMDb of the movie. And I contacted the producer, and I was like, why would you credit me as a grip? I was literally a cam op. And they were like, oh, we just saw you carrying so much stuff, we thought you were a grip. So it's like, it's happening on all fronts. It really sucks, but it's like right before a movie gets printed, they should really just be like, okay, let's take a week and go through every single name. But it's like, I see it so much shit falls through the cracks. It's
like orchestras. I feel that every person who played in an orchestra for a score needs to have their name in the credits, because the music is huge. And when you just if they're crediting the fucking caterers' names, you should at least have who played what instruments in the orchestra, because that is a big deal. They make the iconic scores. And
sometimes it's a stoner that's putting in that information, and then you're like, whoa. I personally, when finishing feature films, I've sent the credits back to the producers over 50 times, and they've come back 50 fucking times different. And so it's like, it's such an insane process. And but with the donors, people do, you gotta go back and get all your fucking donors in, because your movie wouldn't exist without them.
Well, so I was told by the 2 filmmakers that I voiced something in that anthology called Fallacies, and they did the credits beforehand, before they asked me to do the voice, so they forgot to put my name in the credits. But I was promised that when they re-release the Blu-ray on a standard run, that they will correct everything. So at least, you know, when they admitted, oh, I'm sorry, we forgot, we'll correct that next time. But other filmmakers have just completely ignored when I've asked them. So yeah, that kind of dampens my want to do more of these things. Now, I have in the past helped out on the Hex Studios, the new Amicus Studios from Scotland, Laurie Brewster. I did help out on those, but now they're starting to make like 4 different productions at the same time. They've really gotten huge. So I can't throw money at them anymore, because like, to get your name in the thank yous and to get some other wonderful items and stuff when it's released, American dollars was about $250. And that's, I can't keep throwing that kind of money out when I've got, bills. So, but yeah, but I mean, I know you guys, so I trust you.
Yeah, we don't like bills here, and we don't mean weed and Lustig.
Oh, we meant like
utility
bills and debt and the pandemic.
It's a real corny joke. I like to think.
Yes, no, Bill Whedon is a goddamn national treasure. So, yes.
So next week here on our usual Thursday show, who is on? Oh, Tom McLaughlin will be on. Director of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which is many people's favorite Friday the 13th film.
Let's go.
So
what a guest.
Yeah. Going to be good times.
I'll watch it, but I only loved the first film.
Really?
Yeah, the
original
one.
So now you gotta say that in the comments, and then we're gonna put you on blast, and then he's gonna be like, "Bring that motherfucker in here," and I'll be like, "No, we don't want."
You know me, I'm a masochist. Yeah, no, I'm a. But no, I honestly, with a lot of those franchises, I'm very partial to the original. But the sequel,
I'm going to admit, I don't think the first one's a particularly good movie.
No, I just like it the best. And part 2, they cut out all the gore. So I sat there in the theater.
I like 2 I always like 2 and 4. I kind of like this. I like that it's an ongoing story up until 4. Though, when I was a kid, I didn't like, a lot of people didn't like 5 because it's like the Scooby-Doo. It's like it's a fake guy. And then I didn't like Jason Goes to Hell because it's kind of dumb. But as I got older, I kind of like both those a lot.
Well, when they start doing Jason versus Predator and Jason
I don't think that's
Space,
a real movie. But
I know, but I mean, Freddy.
You know what? Jason X. I actually think
about the good one.
It's kind of a fun idea. I think it's like you can't kill this guy, so you freeze him.
It's just that I've seen every goddamn movie in the history of the universe since at least the 50s, and I'm tired of sequels.
Well, no shit on our guest. Next week, Tommy McLaughlin, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
I will watch it. I will watch it because he's fun. I like Tommy.
It'll be good.
I will watch it.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. One time, actually, at Coolidge, I went to, it was a 12-hour marathon. They showed Friday the 13th 1 through Jason Goes to Hell, maybe? Was that the last one? Yeah, I think so. I don't think they showed Freddy versus Jason. That was
when they show the first one, do they show the uncut version nowadays instead of the?
Well, it was 35 millimeter at the Coolidge, so I don't know what.
Probably the theatrical.
Yeah. And then I also did the one that was fun, but they did all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and that was interesting to watch those all together because a lot of them are very different, like tone, which was interesting to watch them back.
I love New Nightmare. I like that one.
Yeah, I think that's the best. They're the most underrated sequel.
It was meta without being too cliche.
I also think there's an interesting question in it about how we're drawn to the villain of these movies. Drawn to the evil.
And part 2, I had a little fun with.
I actually think, for the most part, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are good. I mean, compared to a lot of the. I think they're pretty good.
I liked all the Aliens 1 through 4, the director's cuts of those.
I will not agree with you. I really hate 4.
But I hated the one where the ship goes rolling down, and instead of running off to the side, they're running in front of it, like when people are chased down the road by a truck. Just run off to the side, goddammit. That one was it. I don't know, not Prometheus, one of those.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of either of those movies.
Yeah. I didn't watch the last one.
I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. I actually thought it was good.
I just kind of gave up, like superhero movies. I have not watched a superhero movie in the past 8 years. I'm just tired of them.
So did either of you guys see 28 Years Later? I know Troy and I reviewed it last week.
I haven't got a chance yet. I want to.
I was really wanting to see it. I can't say I was a big fan, but
well, it's just for me, any horror movie like that, I want to see on a night when I'm going to probably be the only one there, or with maybe one or two other people.
I kind of like
nowadays,
watching more movies with people.
Well, nowadays, especially if the teens get in, people talk, they whisper, their phones are beeping. You know,
I never really have that. I don't have that too often. But.
Talking about the movie going experience.
Yeah, I know that I hate. That part I hate. So I usually go on a slower viewing because I get so. We have a special usher that goes around checking on the sound and screen, but also to kind of tell people, hey, get off your phone.
Oh, I went to see Life of Chuck, not a horror movie, but it's a Stephen King story. I think it's one of the best Stephen King adaptations I've ever seen.
I've got to see that yet.
I'm a big fan of the story from If It Bleeds. It's a novella, and it's a really hard story to make a movie out of, I thought, and they did a great job.
Yeah, Flanagan's amazing. I just am not a huge fan of his like the haunting of the TV series he does tend to meander. But the movies he does, oh my God. I love his movies. So
I would definitely recommend Life of Chuck. A lot of recent King stories revolve around people at the end of their lives, which I assume is something that he thinks about because it's a theme, in a lot of these movies, a lot of his stories lately. And so it's definitely not. It's not like I don't want to say it's not a feel-good movie, but it is like it does have a positive message at the end. But it's definitely not going to be a movie for everybody. Is what I'll say. And it's very strange. It's very weird. It's not a linear story.
Now, I definitely want to see it. I definitely want to see it. And it's now kind of
Mark Hamill's great in it.
It's waning a little bit in attendance, so I'll grab a chance.
Yeah, I was happy he was still playing in Boston. I get to see it.
Yeah. It didn't get much publicity from what I saw. So that's
and there's people there. I was surprised. I honestly thought I'd be the only person there, but there's quite a few people there.
It was like the movie Friendship, which I really enjoyed. That one had no publicity, really.
I want to see that so fucking bad.
It was
really good things about it.
It was great. When people came in to see that, I would hold up my Blu-ray of Rent-A-Pal with Will Wheaton and would say, when you get home, watch Rent-A-Pal. And that seemed to work with people. But Friendship is one of those, everything's uncomfortable in it. And you're like, I don't know. And you kind of don't want to see what's going to happen, but you have to. And you're glad you did. So, yeah, definitely. But that one got no publicity. So it lasted, I think it lasted 2 weeks.
Because it came out at the same time as that other fucking Paul Rudd movie. Like, why would they do that? There's like a Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega movie that came out at the exact same time.
Oh yeah, Death of a Unicorn. I was entertained, but I
hated that movie, Todd.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
I was not completely satisfied with it, but I'm glad I saw it.
I thought it was one of the worst movies of the year.
Although, don't you think A24 now is just kind of starting to throw anything out? Because like Y2K, I was not happy with.
Yeah,
I love his previous film, Brigsby Bear. I have the giant standee for it, but Y2K, I was like, oh, all right. So A24, now that they become a darling, like Neon's becoming bigger. I kind of have issues with some of their releases. And I will say, though, their latest one, The Materialists, did really well because everybody came to get a piece of Pedro.
I think they have a good ratio still. Yeah. I know they're getting bigger and they're operating more like a studio now. Like Neon's kind of like.
I feel like they put out a lot of different Bloomhouse. A lot of that stuff's very like run of the mill stuff.
Well,
I think A24 is usually.
I think they have a good hit rate. They're putting out a lot of shit, and then some of it's like ass. But I do think that they still have such a high hit rate compared to other studios.
Well, AJ, did you see? Now, this was an early A24. This was when you didn't realize A24 was A24. They did one called The Monster. It's from about 2017 or something. It basically, it's just a girl and her daughter. Their car breaks down on a lone road in the dark, and there's something out there. And you've seen movies like that before, but I was like, wow. And then when I realized after A24 became huge, I looked on my shelf with my A24s and there was the monster. And I thought, oh my God, I forgot that was an A24. So that's when you got to check out for.
I will check that out.
The monster, but it's not the one with, is that Charlize Theron or something?
Yeah.
It's not that
I
one.
think that's just called Monster.
Okay, well, this is the monster. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. So.
Found it.
And Neil, the one that I was telling you guys about, the Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor one, Hammersmith is out. I was just the other day, I clicked on an email from Screen Archives Entertainment, and there it was, brand new 2 CD deluxe soundtrack for Hammersmith is out. So my life is now complete.
All right, sounds good.
It's good.
When AJ comes back, we'll probably wrap this up, and we'll be back. We'll be back Saturday. You never know when we'll pop up, but I'll be back Saturday with Lawrence R. Harvey, and I'm actually gonna go see the new Jurassic Park tomorrow with my mom. I don't think I've liked the Jurassic Park movie since the original Jurassic Park.
I didn't watch the last one.
I just go see them every time they come out.
Yeah,
but
kind of find you have to. Basically.
Yeah, right. I mean, the trailer looks pretty cool, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's just all the big stars now. I'm getting, I keep looking at them and thinking, oh, that's Scarlett Johansson, that's Tom Cruise, and I can't get deep into the story. So
I tried to watch the Phoenician Scheme, but I just think I cannot take Wes Anderson movies.
Well, the only Wes Anderson I really did enjoy was Budapest Hotel. The others, I hated Life of Zuzu, especially because of that scene where they left the dog behind. I'm pissed. But his movies, especially the Tenenbaums and stuff, everybody's so void of emotion and personality. They're just all
they're all exactly the same movie. They feel like you're watching a parody of a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, I'm gonna make fun of a Wes Anderson. I don't know. They're not for me. I'll just say that. I know a lot of people love them, but they're just not for me.
They remind me of characters that were in like David Cronenberg's movie Crash, which I loved, but everybody was just sort of void of any kind of expression or emotion, and they just walk around and
they all know that too, I think. And I don't know. I don't know. I just
tired.
I just find them very annoying.
And I guess they're a little upper crust, and I'm getting, a little tired of the.
Yeah, they're definitely like, look at us, aren't we clever? And I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy, Anderson.
He might be. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of cool people in the movie, but.
So, and I promise, Lustig, I will watch Uncle Sam again and understand it better.
Yeah, it is on Tubi and Amazon, but it's everywhere.
I don't want Lustig mad at me.
On Tubi. No, he's such a nice guy too.
Yeah, I want to have lunch with him. That's for sure. So
yeah, he'll pick good places because he likes like myself likes to eat. So we had a really good time in Brooklyn, and like I mentioned many times, but it was nice that. When he was at Brooklyn Horror Film Fest, he was there watching the movies. He wasn't just there to get his award and leave or anything.
And I wanted to point out to everybody that my beard is not moving on its own. I've got a fan going here.
Okay.
It keeps doing that. I thought somebody might notice that and be distracted. So
Todd's my new puppet. I made this. I made a.
You need more hair for your puppet, but I don't. People are asking me, "Are you ever going to cut it? Are you ever going to shave it?" And I'm like, why? This is what people. This is what I like. This is what people want me for in their movies. And usually people that say to me, "Why don't you clean yourself up?" I will literally hit them because I'm not dirty. Oh my God! And you know what? I'll tell you what they do when people say to me, man or woman, "Why don't you get rid of your beard?" I go, "Excuse me, are we going to be on a regular basis?" And they look at me and go, "What?" I said, "Well, you obviously want me to change myself for you, so I assume we're going to be freaking on a regular basis." And they go, well, no. I said, "Okay, well, just so you know, I don't change myself for anybody." Go, so find someone else you can control.
Yeah, I need to let mine grow longer here.
Well, just make sure that if you do what I do, I always will wear a dark shirt and I keep looking for split ends. If you find split ends, you get rid of them because otherwise it wrecks the whole experience.
All right.
God.
I was waxing my mustache for a little while, but it was
I need to do that more. I can do it without wax, but I just keep forgetting. And somebody braided it.
It's too much to keep up with.
No, it's too much. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's like dreadlocks. I don't like them for one thing, but they're too much. Well, people say you don't have to do anything to them, but you got to keep them clean, don't you? So it's the same thing with, you
wash them.
It's too much work. I do put beard oil in sometimes and stuff, and I do wash it every other day with a beard wash. But yeah, I don't want to if you want to call me lazy, go ahead. But I'm a quality lazy.
All right, fair enough. Oh, I didn't know. So I'm wearing my basket case shirt. This is pretty sweet.
I have one, but it's earlier. It was the early artwork.
Oh yeah, this is actually got at a convention. It was it's actually an artist, which was a smart idea. He sold his paintings, his prints, and he also put his prints on T-shirts, which I thought was a smart idea. Not everyone does that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a good thing about conventions. You do get to see a lot of merch and stuff that you won't see elsewhere. Some of it is because they want to avoid people seeing what they're selling, so they sell it. They don't sell it online.
Yeah, but, black market shit.
Exactly.
Oh man! But well, Neil, I can't wait to see with what you come up with next, though.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we
design. I'm always eager.
Very, I don't know.
Well, I need to get the Arbor Day.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be making more puppets. I gotta get the whip cracking on Troy to make some more. He's making the tree stuff, and I don't know. It'll be fun.
I need to get the Arbor Day T-shirts though, because I'm on one of them, and then I need to get your wrestling one that I'm in the background of. I need to get those, but as soon as
I may have to change the name of Master Wog. I did not realize that Wog is like it's like a racial slur. Yeah. I didn't know this. It's a racial slur in England, and so I have to, like, do you know what this means? I'm like, no.
Well, is it something? Racial. That's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So I'm going to change the name. I didn't
just say that you were bringing awareness to it.
There you go. It's actually short for Pollywog in the movie.
Well, I saw
kind of a frog kind of dude, but
I saw a film from India, Kunsam Karam or something, and in the dance number, when the guy saw the girl, he did this with his eyes, and I had a friend go, "Oh my God, that's the white power!" I'm like, no.
Oh my Lord.
From India, it's something else. So yeah, you just never know when you're going to upset somebody.
Right. Yeah, I saw there's some about Mary Poppins now, because it's like there's some term in Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah,
Hots and tots or something.
Hottentot. Yeah, that's like it's kind of a racial tribal thing.
Huh.
And and that's, well, Mary Poppins the movie is way too long anyway. I only sat through it once. But but I remember hearing that line and thinking, oh, it's like some PG films from the 70s that utilize the N-word. Like Times Square and some others. And
I wanted to bring up actually to Bill was not the N-word, but when I was watching
speaking of the N-word.
When I was watching Uncle Sam on Amazon, it was rated R, and the first thing it said was rated R for smoking. And I was like, I just found that for some reason. Yeah.
No, I mean, what's funny is all of the PG films. I love PG movies from the 70s because you just never knew what you were going to get. And there could be nudity, there could be an F-bomb or two.
Oh yeah.
And they're like Poltergeist, and even when I was watching Can't Stop the Music, they're smoking joints. PG, no problem. But nowadays it's all, like PG-13. If you smoke one cigarette, it's an automatic PG-13.
Yeah. Well, I do have this conversation on my wrestling show because they talk about, wrestling's PG and stuff. But PG is parental guidance. It's not G for general audience. So I think PG makes sense for a lot of that stuff.
Well, okay, and 16 Candles is PG, and the opening shot of that movie is a girl soaping up her tits in the shower, and it's just like a close-up. But Breakfast Club is rated R, which is crazy.
Well, because there was a lot of F-bombs, and if you use the
and they smoke weed in the library.
Well, if you use the F-bomb as a sexual term, it's an R. But if you use it like "fuck you" or "that fucking dog," that could be in a PG-13.
Worse though, doesn't it?
No, it's just a sexual thing. It's funny because
it seems worse to me anyway. I'd be like,
well,
they don't use it in a sexual term. He's like, but what about you, Dad? And he's like, fuck you. And he's like, no, Dad, but what about you? Fuck you. No, Dad, but what about you? Fuck you. Crash, bang.
They use, let's face it, they use the F-bomb a lot in that movie, so that's why it was rated R. But I missed the PG because it was a grab bag. Because they never explained why it was PG. You just got a PG. And it's like, for instance, I found out that people taped it off of regular network television and said, it was still in there. But again, going back to Can't Stop the Music, I'm not obsessed with it. There is... In the YMCA musical numbers, not only do you get to see Valerie Perine's breasts, you see a shower scene and you see full frontal male nudity in a shower scene in a PG-rated film. So I love those times because you never knew what you were going to get. Nowadays, everything's just, it's too categorized. So,
gotta be safer.
It's and the explanations are usually PG for thematic material. What does that mean? Like Little Darlings was rated R, and there were no F-bombs, there was no nudity, and they didn't get explicit in their discussions about sex, but for some reason they said, well, we're giving it an R for thematic material. So don't you
forget about me. Don't you.
The version they use in the film, by the way, is the long version that you get on a 12-inch single. So if you get the soundtrack, you're just getting the short version.
12-inch single? What are you, some kind of size freak over here?
Yes, I am. I got lots of 12-inch singles.
Whoa!
All those
We're gonna get kicked off YouTube.
Extended version. No, yeah, look, I've collected everything since I was a kid. So from the 70s, the disco era on through the 80s, 12-inch singles were the big thing. So I still have them all, but I won't sell them.
All right, sounds good. So we've
got AJ, you look different. It's a hat, right? No, it's the glasses. Which is you came back and I think it's the hat, right? Or was it the glasses?
Oh no, I didn't change anything. I just had to take my damn dog out to pee.
Oh, I thought you changed something. Okay.
No, I'm just shifty.
Well, I was telling Neil, if you're wondering why my beard keeps moving, I got a fan going on here. So
yeah, I thought it was like an erection, like it just kind of every once in a while. Yeah, you could flex it.
Like a rural erection. Okay. Well, I know I have to plug that movie anytime I can. I'm sorry. I'm proud of it. I am proud of it.
You should be proud of it.
When somebody describes it as hardcore hee-haw meets Pink Flamingos, you know you're in the right movie.
Hee-haw.
Yeah, remember, salute. God, I'm old. I am so old. I used to be forced to watch the Lawrence Welk show too when I was a kid. So Neil,
I've never watched the Lawrence Welk show.
It's I don't know. If you want to get back at your enemies, you tell them to watch the Lawrence Welk show.
All right. So I'll be back Saturday with Lawrence R. Harvey, and then we'll be back next week on our regular Thursday show. And who knows, maybe something else will pop up. You never know what's going on here without your head.
And thank you for letting me in.
Anytime, Todd. People will send out the links usually on the Thursday shows after the guests. So if people would like to
I'll be watching next Thursday for sure.
All right. We've got some stuff. We're going to do some test runs, me and AJ and Troy and Tara soon.
Yes.
We got some plans. Got to get the Discord going. But anyway, I've been working on Puppet. So, but now I got some time to do some other stuff. I kind of like Puppets. Puppets are fun.
You might like this.
Was that a homie?
No, it's Deadpool. He's really tiny, like Ant-Man.
That's very small.
My pal Def's here in the chat. Have you seen this yet, Deft?
Love that. The way those eyes.
I
Oh, there you go with the light. There.
Yeah, there. I didn't know if I could do them, but I was happy.
That looks great, and I love the color. I like green and forms of green.
I do as well.
It looks good on me.
All right. So yeah, we'll be back next week. Any plugs, anyone here?
Well, I'll just tell everybody again, keep checking astroplanedrifter.com. And if you have any questions, you can find me as Todd Yeager on Facebook and Vimeo. And,
all right, sounds good. We will return. There's something I was going to say, but I totally forget. Oh, the Tomb of Nick Cage. I should always mention them. They do our theme song. It's a real song. It's not wasn't made on AI. It's a real people. They recorded it. And here we're going to play us out with the Tomb of Nick Cage. Go check them out. Give them a follow on social media. And we will talk to everyone soon. So until next time, this is Nasty Neil.
It's Cousin AJ.
Todd Quality Yeager.
Hell
Terrible
yeah.
Troy is out there. By the way, I think I broke my finger like last year.
Oh my God.
And it's never been, it doesn't hurt, but that's as far as it will go out. It will not.
Oh my God.
Out. Yeah.
I was injured enough to not go save Troy.
This is going to be it's going to be stuck on my face for the rest of the night. Thank you.
Man. All right.
God, I hope
here we go.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt anyway.
Good.
All right.
Let's